morning. I swear a lot.
Hello friends and welcome back to Limbus Company. Welcome to the Pilgrimage of Compassion. So, I'm still not entirely super interested in the idea of it, but I gotta be honest, I was looking through the comments and like when I basically implied, intonated, inferred throughout the last couple of episodes, I basically wasn't gonna bother with the intervallo. What I was kind of expecting, because, I don't know, you get kind of cynical making content for a while and you expect certain reactions from the internet. I was kind of expecting people to give me shit for it, like properly give me shit for it, and then that would have reinforced my decision to not bother, basically. Like, I set up this self-fulfilling prophecy narrative in my brain. What actually happened was that most people just went, oh, that's a shame, would have loved to have seen you do it, but fair enough. And I was like, I'm making people sad. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't presume that this is some kind of massive travesty and tragedy in your life, but I'm like, I'm making people sad, and it's my fucking self-applied, self-given, self-chosen job to make people happy. I have to do this. I have to do it. I gotta go do it. And the thing is, it was never that I didn't want to do the intervallo as such. It was never that I didn't think I'd enjoy it. It's just I couldn't be fucking bothered, basically. But no, I can be fucking bothered, actually. I can be fucking bothered, and I will do it. So on that note, let's fucking do this. I'd pretty much written off doing this. So now that I'm actually doing it, I'm kind of excited. Like, telling myself I wasn't gonna do it, and now I am, has kind of hyped me up for it. But before we do that, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep spinning the wheel of my penance for my previous statements, and maybe I'll be rewarded, but I fucking doubt it. Yeah, it looks fucking unlikely on this one, but hey, what are you gonna do? So as of the time of recording, I have 7 days, roughly, you know, basically till next Thursday, I think, to beat this. I plan to beat it ahead of time. I'm not gonna run this down to the fucking wire. That's a terrible idea. The only thing worse than not bothering with this intervallo would be to get 90% of the way and then have it disappear. So I'm gonna fucking knuckle down and get it done. That is the plan. And then, as for when it'll go up, I don't know, maybe Halloween? We'll fucking see. I got nothing. Although, I can do this. Yes, this will be the one. This will do it. This will do it. It's this one. No. Okay, alright, well. I get what I fucking deserve, hey? We've almost got enough to get a people, but I don't think I'll get enough for the people to happen. I don't think. Pretty sure I won't anyway. Although... Actually, no, because this won't lead to enough. But I do nearly have enough tickets to do another temple, and I'm pretty sure tomorrow on the daily, like, attendance thingy, I would get more. Oh, you've just moved off a bit. That's what I wanted to check. Yeah, tomorrow I'll get another one. So I'll be able to do another temple. Delightful. Gonna stick with the purple team for this because they're built up, and I don't really want to waste you guys' time, as it were, running with teams that aren't really strong enough. And I've also heard that the intervallo is quite tough. I haven't heard anything ridiculous, but I have heard that it's quite tough. So let's stick with a team that quote-unquote works. We're still leveling these guys up, and as days go by, they will level up more and more. At the very least, we might get Mr. Ting Tang ready to go. Keeping Ryoshu right at the back because of her passive, which is actually very useful. Other than that, everything here works fine. But let's get in there. 8.5 EX. Only a limited amount of time to get this done. Also, we might be able to get enough rewards to get the... Is it an ego? Yeah, it is an ego. To get the ego from there. So that'd be cool. I like it. It's very striking. Wait, I can swap between normal and hard. Well, obviously I'm going to do hard. That's what you guys are here to see, yeah? Naturally. The unknown sea. Warning, warning, warning. Okay. Oh, I only get 4 people. And Amir is our announcer. She's the one character I do remember. I just didn't remember her fucking name. Alright, I know... I know Honglu's shit. Let's see if we can do it. I'm spreading this recording out over multiple days. We've got time. I can fuck about a little bit. Apparently the interval is roughly 6 hours. I was exploring a lobotomy corporation branch when my consciousness sinks into the depths. The sense of cognition, itself a concept without form, floats into the shadow of an ever-widening river, swept up in its currents to nowhere. When we ran into an abnormality. But Sword told us that Hongyan's Lobotomy Corp branch should be free of any abnormalities. The abnormality, which had appeared out of nowhere, was more otherworldly than we'd ever encountered so far on our journey, and deep blue. It was fathomlessly blue, and fathomless. It was fathomlessly blue, and seemed to have a pull that endlessly drew us into itself. Is it Blue Star? I don't think it is, but wouldn't that be fucking hype? Or maybe it's an aberration? Who can say? Just as I was about to recall this abnormality, a myriad of sceneries and a flood of incalculable thoughts crashed into my mind like wild waves before ebbing away from its shores. A lot of focus on the ocean, so I guess Ishmael's gonna be in her fucking element. She was a sailor, you know. I was already lost and adrift somewhere within my consciousness when I realized this. Just how long am I going to be adrift? The sensation of my own consciousness floating away is quite the unfamiliar one. I floated about in that strange state for a while. Tay? I assume you're saying Dante. An unfamiliar voice seizes my aimlessly drifting consciousness. Are you Dante? Might be. Who's asking? The fog of my vision clears as the voice breaks through the waves. I assume, for, you know, magical plot reasons, we're gonna allow the Arknight's characters to communicate with Dante. Although I guess the one-sided conversations could be pretty funny, but I imagine we'll probably lean towards more dialogue. And a concerned expression, donning a pair of rabbit ears, comes into view. Yes, I am. Ah, what a relief. Gregor, I think Dante has come too. So who, I was about to ask further questions to this stranger with particularly long animal-like ears, but... I felt the drowsiness coursing back with the terrifying memories of the dream rendering me unable to speak or tick. I have to get a hold of myself. After an indeterminate amount of time had passed, I barely managed to wake myself from slumber to get a grasp of my surroundings, only to find myself surrounded by more unfamiliarities. I was about to be like, man, this is a good thumbnail, but I realized I've already got that covered. Thank you, Linky, I appreciate it. There was that stranger from earlier, sitting atop a rock and silently taking in the sights, a young girl who probably saved my life. Wait, so were those animal ears after all? I don't feel like that'd be particularly weird in the city. I guess it might be somewhat notable. Okay, that's not important right now. I have to prioritize figuring out just where in the world I have ended up. So, we're standing by the Iberian coastline. How are you feeling? Iberian? That's like a real place. Okay. A little out of it, but I'm okay otherwise. Iberia, huh? Yes, we're in Iberia. Yeah, there's the Iberian Peninsula. Okay. I knew I'd heard the term before, I just didn't know for sure. Well, given that we're next to an ocean, maybe I drifted all the way to U-Corp's Great Lake? That would be fucking crazy, wouldn't it? Iberia was an unfamiliar name, but that was all I had to go on, given that the city was still full of more unknowns than knowns to me, yeah. Honestly, me too. It probably shouldn't be, but my brain only has so much information for so much lore in one specific franchise. Can't keep it all in there. I still can't remember how big the fucking city is. Don't answer that. It always devolves into such a fucking mess when people try to answer that. I radioed your colleagues when you briefly woke up earlier. They'll be here any minute. I see. So we're just gonna hang out, huh? Wait, my colleagues? You must have run into the sinners then. The fog of my mind immediately cleared as soon as I realized that the sinners were all nowhere to be seen. They don't do well without me, you know. They're terrible tacticians and their deaths tend to be permanent. Wait, Rhodes Island. Okay, so does Arknights play off of like real life locations, or at least their names? Yeah, I just don't remember a fucking thing about it. Sinners? I think so. I ran into them earlier. They were looking all over the place for someone with a clock for their head. It was a pretty unique description, so I could tell right away that you were the person they were looking for. Nah, there's actually another clock head, as it turns out. So this clock head does come in handy. Fuck, I need to stop smoking. Manager bud. Dante. I'd woken up in an unfamiliar place to an unfamiliar face, and in the midst of all this around sense of displacement, the faces that appeared before me were certainly a sight for sore eyes. There's also two of the more pleasant members. Gregor, Honglu, my boys. Miss Rabbit here told me she found you unconscious by the ocean, and phew, I came as fast as I could, and oh boy, I was worried that something bad might have happened. Glad to see you're doing fine. Were you lost at sea? I don't know. Maybe. Well, I do think I'm fine, though. I guess not having any way to drink water is finally coming in handy. Can't physically drown. Useful. You should go get that checked out just in case. Wait, your head's waterproof, right? Gregor takes a moment to steady his breathing, then mutters a casual quip as he lights a cigarette. Well, he doesn't seem that concerned. Maybe we're not actually in that much danger. So what happened? Where are we? Do you remember entering that Lobotomy Corp branch Zishan told us about? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we ran into a new abnormality and got sucked into it before we even had the chance to do anything. Oh man, I really thought that was it for us, especially with you getting sucked in there too, Manager Bud. You gotta be careful of that, suck. But when we came to, despite waking up with our faces down in some ditch, we were all fine without a scratch, though there was quite the mess when we realized you'd gone missing. We wanted to search for you immediately, but it took a while before we got a better bearing of where we were. So we're not at U-Corp's Great Lake? Some of us consider that to be a distinct possibility, but it's unlikely. Ishmael was really certain that we were not in District 21, and she's a sailor, you know. She did concede that we might be in an unknown area within the Great Lake of the outskirts, but that doesn't seem likely either, given what the rabbit-eared lady there said. It is rabbit ears, I'm correct. The outskirts region of the Great Lake. I've met all kinds of people from all over Terra. Okay, yeah, it's just different versions. But I've never met anyone who referred to the Iberian Sea that way. Terra? Iberia? The God Emperor? As soon as I found myself puzzled by these unfamiliar terms, a very obvious question suddenly struck me. Speaking of which, who are you? Huh, really? You fellas haven't introduced yourselves to each other yet? Also, I assume at some point soon we're going to address the fact that she can hear them. It's just, it's all a lot to take in, you know, and I'm tired. It's understandable. You did just wake up from a pretty harrowing experience. She is, actually, would you like to do the honors yourself? I am Amir, the leader of Rhodes Island. Please just call me Amir. What else would we call you? You only gave us the name Amir. We're not going to call you Amir, the leader of Rhodes Island every single time, are we? Get a grip, lass. I'm Dante, manager at Limbus Company. I know I'm late, but thanks for saving my bacon. It seems that this Rodeo Island is a pretty big pharmaceutical corporation, but... Gregor trails off ominously and scratches his head before continuing with some mild trepidation. This young lady with the rabbit ears doesn't know what the head is. At all. As far as I know, there aren't any organizations in Terra with the same characteristics as the one Mr. Gregor explained. At least not with a name like The Head. Also, sorry, it's Rhodes Island, not Rodeo, which I assume is a reference to something that I'm not getting. Sorry, Gregor's kind of bad with names. So what you're saying is that we're not in the city anymore? It'd be weird for any higher up of these huge corporations to know less about the head than we do, let alone be completely clueless about it. Well, maybe we've tumbled into a previously undiscovered zone of the outskirts or the ruins. Probably. Or maybe we've really found ourselves in a completely different world. Fancy that. That's ridiculous. There's no way that would be a thing. If their conjecture is correct, we're in way bigger trouble than I thought. This wasn't like the time we accidentally stranded ourselves in the outskirts via a door in the corridor. Amia stared at me with some concern as though she felt my distress. I think I could draw a connection to something else that's happening here. Really? Yeah, recently anomalous signs and events have been occurring in Iberia ever since a mysterious dimensional door appeared at sea. We gotta go see that door. And it's been said that this dimensional door is connected to something very, very distant, to something that we've never even observed before, so... Seems reasonable to theorize that the dimensional door is how we managed to cross over to this world. Yes. I really would have appreciated Faust's input. Where'd all the other sinners go, anyway? A bit late on the uptake to be gawking around for the other sinners now, don't you think? They're at a settlement near here, where they're all helping out with various odds and ends of the village, while taking turns searching for Dante, of course. You know, I never thought about how difficult it would be to search for someone when we're like fish out of water too. Man, barely even got a wink of sleep since yesterday. Everyone's got to be really tired then, so it's just you two out here for now? No, Ishmael and Yi-Sang are the other half of the search party, and we just happen to be the last group in the rotation. They must be searching elsewhere to find you, Manager Bud. We got the news early thanks to Amiya's comms gear, but the other team didn't. Yeah, we got lucky. The other team, well, we don't have any way to get in touch with them, so they'll probably continue their search until their shift is done. Oh, are we talking about the village you mentioned earlier? Uh-huh, right, you've not been there yet, huh? I guess it's a bit off the beaten path. You wouldn't know about it, really obscure location. Had to be there to see it. Well, we're going to have to rendezvous with the other sinners anyway, so let's head to the village for now. Something seemed to pique Amiya's interest as she fell into a contemplative silence before carefully speaking up. I would like to accompany you there. Sure, I don't see why not. You helped us find Manager Bud, and more importantly, you seem to know a lot more about this place than we do. If any trouble comes, you will hear it from a fucking mile away and all. I don't actually know Iberia that well either, but I should be able to be of some help. They've closed their borders and practically locked out any foreign influences from affecting them, but I did get a briefing before the mission. Closed borders, huh? Then how did you get in, Miss Amiya? We followed Dr. Kaltsitsen's directions and illegally crossed the country border. You know, no big deal. Illegally? We don't break rules around here or laws. We're honest, law-abiding citizens. Oh, does that mean you crossed the border without obtaining any permission, Amiya? We had to cross the border somehow in order to investigate how and why the dimensional door came to be. Is it normal for pharmaceutical companies to be doing that? My guess is no. Large pharmaceutical companies often dispatch their agents for missions. Oh, you got me there. Yeah, Rhodes Island is, in its essence, a pharmaceutical company researching treatments for people affected with oropathy, but we also work to prevent and assist in the management of various situations that could occur in high-risk areas. High-risk areas, huh? Sounds like a bunch of justification for a bunch of crimes. Well, what about your companions? I doubt you came all the way here on your own. We were forced to split up due to certain forces that were in pursuit. Wait, stop! Amiya's ears twitched as she came to a stop and began scanning the surrounding area. Then, there! As we stood about confused, Amiya, noticing something, pointed toward the seashore hidden behind large and cragged rock formations. God, words are hard. What are we supposed to, huh? Hello, ma'am. There we saw someone wielding a lengthy greatsword, bickering with two familiar faces. Lads, is Ishmael lecturing them on how to tie a knot again? Again, move, you're in the way. You needn't worry as you do. We have had ample experience battling monsters who are much like them. I didn't fucking ask that, did I? I asked you to move. Listen, I'm not worried, it's... Come on, better have 3 fighters than 1, right? Besides, you're the first person we ran into out here, so we got a lot of questions to ask. Hey, lads! Lads! Come here and give your old Dante a hug. Dante, you are unharmed. That's good. And here I was getting ready for a 3 days long search. What a relief. We were all really worried that we might never be able to find you. We managed to find him thanks to help from Miss Amiya here. That's the rabbit lady. Amiya? Are you two acquainted? But none of your fucking business, lad. Not a good time for a reunion. It can wait until after we take out the sea monsters. Scotty, are those organisms the Seaborns Dr. Kaltsit mentioned? They're sea terrors, to be specific. Actually, the less sophisticated ones among them. And they're probably here for me. Sea terrors? Is it like a whale? I hear the sticky noise of something viscous slithering against the rocks. It is like a whale. Or more like mermaids, I suppose, but shush. When I turn to face the origin of the unsettling noise, I smell the heavy, wet scent of brine. Ah, lovely. And at the end of my gaze awaits strange monsters. Unlike distortions, unlike abnormalities, unlike anything I'd ever seen. It is as though the sea itself is encroaching on the land. I've played something like that, but I can't remember what it was. I guess Darkest Dungeon's kinda like, not really. I was almost certain we weren't at the Great Lake, but I'm not so sure anymore. Her experiences with the thick scent of brine at the Great Lake must have put her in a wary mood. as Ishmael seemed to be a lot more apprehensive about these monsters than anyone else, probably due to her time serving on a boat. She was a sailor, you know. Do you think those creatures could be whales or mermaids? I don't know, the Great Lake and the outskirts are full of unexplored mysteries after all. Dante, what do your senses say? What does your clock head see? It's unclear. I'd say the closest comparison I can make is with the whales, but even that's not conclusive. Ah. More enemies on the horizon. We should prepare for battle. Quick, set up a fucking tower defense section. We don't do that here, I'm afraid. Doesn't seem like we can talk things out with them, though. So let's take them out. Time to go fishing. Let's see how badly I fucked up by having a level 43 Ting Tang Hong lure in the party. Ah, but he dresses so fresh. Thank you, Amir. I appreciate it. Look, he's so fresh. And that's a cool knife. I'd want to be this identity, to be fair. Despite that, he has pretty good chances. Go for it, lads. Go on, Hongler, yeah. Doing well. Go on, lad. Love it. Oh, there's more of them now. Nervous impairment. Max stack 30. A 30 stack becomes staggered, then take fixed damage equal to 25% of this unit's max HP, and then remove this effect. That's pretty rough. Anything I need to know? Nethersea Brand Utopia. Yeah, Nethersea Brand. When on top of Nethersea Brand, gain Clash Power +2 and double the amount of nervous impairment inflicted on hit. Are you on top of it? I don't fucking know what you're on about. You people are crazy. Yes, let's get this going. You done fucked up. Oh. Beautiful. It might be a little bit of a fight, to be honest. Beautiful. Your doctor ain't got nothing on me, lass. Don't even pretend. Get a follow-up gun. These are weird little fish things. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of bosses we've got in store. I want something big and fucking spooky. And the music's solid. Nothing crazy, but solid. Yeah, we've got plenty of pride to work with here. Make it happen. Go on, do the thing. That's a big bonus. Fucking hell. Oh, that's dope. That's such a cool skill. Yeah, fucking dead as shit. No chance. No chance. Oh. Fucking hell. He's so strong. How many of them are there? Oh, no more after this. Alright, knock him out. Easy. Fucking sick. Oh, fun. Nice. All remaining enemies have retreated to the sea. Good work, everyone. Lass, I didn't leave a single fucking fish left. They're all gone. Oh, I didn't think I'd have to deal with anything remotely like this outside the Great Lake. You can say that again. It would have taken us a whole day if that Scotty character didn't occupy the other half while Miss Rabbit helped us from a distance. Oh, so Scotty literally took on like 12 by herself. That's pretty fucking good. Actually, the implication there, just caught myself, is that there were more than 12 on each side, but Mia was like picking some of them off on our side, which means Scotty took on more than 12. Don't know how many more, but more. As we were catching our breath after the battle, I hear a brief hum. When I turned to look at its source, I saw Scotty glaring at me with palpable alarm. Strange people who transform. And a head of clock. I guess they're both technically true. Well, it's nothing more than a theory at this point. I think I have a lot to do with the dimensional door we're supposed to be investigating. We should kill them in a tower defense battle. Nice to meet you, I guess. I only hear a ticking clock. Well, that's interesting. Why is Mia the only one who can understand Dante? Oh, that's because only us sinners can hear Dante's voice. Huh? Oh, what's up? Oh, no, I'm just wondering how Miss Mia can seemingly understand Dante. Yeah, what's going on with that? Oh, yeah, it completely flew over my head. I didn't even question how fucking weird this is. Their voice sounds like a ticking clock to me too, but I don't know, it's almost like I can sense what they're trying to say, what kind of emotion they're trying to convey. Yeah, that works. Her explanation reminded me of the Blue Boy in Sinclair's past, but I didn't quite feel the uncanny sensation from Amir that I felt from then. Don't bring Demian into this. I don't want to fucking hear it. So she can kind of read me like how Vergilius can, I guess? And I think Wei could as well. Was it Wei? I think it was Wei who could also kind of read Dante a bit. It was never explicitly stated, but... Oh, I remember, to begin with, Wei couldn't read Dante well at all. Yeah, because back at the Khajan, he was like, I think they're trying to say you're cute or something, my lady. And Dante was like, no, no. Well, I don't think it's a bad thing. That's true, it's been a bit of a hassle to always need Faust or Honglu to translate for you, Dante. And the rest of us aren't gonna fucking do it. I'd like to know exactly how she can understand Dante, but I don't think we've got the luxury of time to sit down and figure this out. So we heading back? Sounds like a plan. It's not like we know anywhere else to go, right? Oh, and Miss Rabbit here will be tagging along too. She said she'd help us find our way back. I'm glad to be working with you two also, Miss Ishmael, Miss Yi sang. Took the words right out of my mouth. You've already helped us plenty, and you clearly know a lot more about this place than we do. The journey is long. Perhaps embarking on it ere the sun's fall would be wise. How long's the journey? No idea, it's not like we have a clock with us. Dante. I do know that it's not very far though, we just need to walk along the coastline for a bit. I know you can't actually tell the time from Dante, I'm just making a joke. Scardy quietly points in my direction. Oh, Dante can't tell us the time because they're not on time. Then why the clock head? I didn't exactly choose to get myself a clock-shaped head. I looked away from Scardy's inquisitive eyes, which was quite solidly fixed on my head. The coasts of Iberia are hardly good places for people to live. Those things can go anywhere in this world, but they thrive at places that meet the ocean. Yeah, go figure. So how did people manage to build a village at a place like this? The monsters are called Seaborns or Sea Terrors, yes? While it is true that they pose certain difficulties, they were hardly the kind of monsters with the strength to bring Scourge and drive out the local populace. Don't judge them based on that brief skirmish. She's just telling us to be on our guard, right? Scardy can be a bit curt, but she's not a bad person. I want Scardy to be like, I can be curt and I am also a bad person. Deal with it. I don't think she said anything wrong. Nothing rules out the existence of stronger variants of these creatures being out there. There's a reason they'd be called fucking sea terrors, right? That would imply a certain level of power. Or alternatively, there could just be an absolute unfathomable shit ton of them. Or, and this is much more likely, both are true. There are way stronger ones, and there's also a shit ton of them. That's probably about right. Don't talk about me like I'm not here. Scardy's concern only served to fan my curiosity, but something about her expression communicated that I probably shouldn't pry, so I quietly quickened my pace as we walked to the village. Hey, chaps are all done. Look at that. We'll be ready. We'll be done in no time, lads. No sweat.
이걸로 이번 존과 결별할 날도 머지 않았나? 마지막까지 알뜰히 사용하시는 것 같으니 미련은 없겠다만.
Looks like I'll be saying goodbye to this lord soon. So does that imply that the Seer branch are kind of mercenaries? I don't know. I'll probably find out more from his Uptide story. We got a lot of stuff. Ah, quickly! Ting Tang Hong Le, lad! Ah, you need some levels. Although he actually fought really well in that battle for being like 13 levels under-leveled, and considering we're playing on hard mode as well. Although I assume hard mode just means max level. Like if it was on normal, for instance, and I check this, well, level 50. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. If I put it on hard mode, check him again. Level 50. Well, I don't know what the fucking difference is, but I'm gonna play in hard mode anyway. More rewards. Village of the Dead Lighthouse. Warning. It's a spooky lighthouse. This hardly looks like a village. It's more like the ruins of one, isn't it? What does this place remind me of? It simultaneously reminds me of an area in Code Vein. It reminds me of Majula in Dark Souls 2, albeit with a completely different palette, and somewhere else as well that I swear I've been to recently, you know, in a video game, not in real life. There was a location in fucking... what's it called? Tainted Grail, that's it. It looks like that fucking coastal village in Tainted Grail. But unsurprisingly, the buildings certainly have a Spanish look to them. Why am I fixating on the buildings? This doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't seem like they've done any proper upkeep to the place. Not in a while, at least. They're really here, living together. That's fucking wild. The strange buildings tell the stories of former prosperity from a bygone era. Faro Muerto. Yeah, I guess I was pretty on the money, huh? I mean, if the place is called Iberia and the Iberian Peninsula is in, like, Spain/Portugal. According to Google. Let me be clear. If you're like, no, Foreman, I'm like, look, I'm just going by Google, okay? Could be wrong. But point is, that makes a lot of sense. I know Muerto means dead, so what does Faro mean? Well, it's a municipality in Portugal. Wait, it's a municipality, the southernmost city, and capital of the district of the same name in the Algarve region of southern Portugal. It's also a gambling card game. So is this implied in the Arknight's universe to be the remains of Faro? Who knows? Our steps leave no footprints on the wet, muddy ground. On it, I see a rotting sign marked with the name Faro Muerto. Everywhere I look in this village, I see evidence of long, silent abandonment. We don't see these kinds of abandoned-looking ruins often in the city, either. Well, yeah, there's always someone or something out there waiting to capitalize on that free real estate, be it a syndicate or a corporation, and fix it up. Better than this, at least. So where are the sinners? Ah, there's a clearing down there where... We were entrapped betwixt a twain of great ships, narrowing winds against our sail. Ooh, and that is when young Ishmael boomed, her command most resonant. Say no more. I didn't even have to try to search for them. That unmistakably sonorous and familiar voice echoing triumphantly between the empty buildings. That's Don Quixote's voice when she's sharing her adventurous tales. There she was, standing atop a low podium like an actor on stage, regaling a group of people in rags with tales of our adventures like a traveling thespian. Answers, ye dogs, oarsmen! 'Tis the moment I, Ishmael, the first mate of vessel Mephistopheles, shall navigate. Stop! Oh, what do you think you're doing? Young Ishmael, unhand my mouth, for I was just about to regale them with the most fantastic tales of adventures at the Great Line. Manager Esquire! Verily, thou hast returned with Manager Esquire safely in tow. What, I found Clockhead? Fucking finally. A burning clock for a head. Run for your lives. When I was a child, I heard a story about a legendary Sarkaz with a flaming head. Why would someone like that visit our humble village? While their exterior may carry elements that inspire fear in some, there is no cause for alarm, as they are an absolute wuss. Yeah, they might look like that, but they're Dante, our manager, and the rest are... people. Oh, hello. I'm sorry, who are you two? They're two very nice people who helped us find Dante. This is Miss Amir, leader of Rhodes Island. And this is Miss Skadi, their operator. They'll be coming along with us for a little while. With us? We believe that the dimensional door which we at Rhode Islands are investigating has something to do with why you suddenly woke up here in Iberia. As Amir was bringing the sinners up to speed, the villagers, who were staring at us curiously, approached us. Do you have any food in that clockhead? Did our conversation manage to convince them that we're not a threat? I sure hope so. You are friends of our saviors. Saviors? Verily, 'tis quite the grand title, yet that is indeed the word by which we addressed. To be more precise, by saviors, they are referring only to Faust and Otis. Faust gave me a light nod when we made eye contact, but I could tell that her lips were drawing a very, very subtle smiling arc. Maybe she will get some ladyfinger biscuits, we'll see. I need to order some more of those, actually. Oh, I'm hungry. So I'm guessing something did happen. They were quite mistrustful upon our initial arrival. What business do outsiders have here? What if they're from the Inquisition? Okay, are we talking the 40k one, the Dragon Age one, the Spanish one? You're gonna have to narrow it down a bit, lad. Oh no, what do we do? After all we went through to get here. Calm yourselves, everyone. None of them are carrying what appears to be their scriptures or lamps. Let's first try to see who they are. Man, I don't think they're going to trust us anytime soon. They're all old curmudgeons, less to STNC than PTSD. Nope, no idea. You can't do that, Ryoshu. We can't pillage their storage depots. It looks like they already have it hard enough as it is. I don't think STNC is a good way to get started either. Should we just find help elsewhere? Just look at how thin their arms are. I don't think they're in any shape to help us out. Perhaps we could inquire as to our whereabouts ere we are to decide our lodging. Well, the landscape is certainly reminiscent of U-Corps. But I don't recall seeing or learning about any place that looks like this, so I can't say I've been to every corner of U-Corp when I was on a boat because I was a sailor. I ask again, don't ignore me. What business do outsiders have here? Their fingers are tightening around the grips of their weapons. Prolonged silence will most likely turn us into a hostile encounter. We can't have that. Hi, we're from Limbus Company, and we're... fixers of justice! Yeah, that. Fixers of justice. Oh, don't you know how to keep it down? Fixers? That over there, it's a ship blueprint, isn't it? Are you looking to repair a vessel by any chance? All these construction materials seem to suggest so. Chief, this does not concern you. It's not something a mere outsider can understand. I mean, Otis is absolutely the one to go to. Her or Ishmael, anyway. Curious, I've never seen an energy source like this before. Have you run any of the tests to rule out any stability issues? It seems to power the heat exchanger via some method comparable to the utilization of fusion energy. Have you any thoughts on this, Miss Faust? The general design structure is somewhat old-fashioned, but there certainly are inspired paths to this design, particularly with the usage of the core energy source. While its stability would need to be further studied, this technology seems to be incredibly energy efficient. Do you want me to build you a bus? I can do that. Oh! You identified all that by merely glancing at this blueprint? You must be the village chief, then. If so, I have a proposition for you. In return for assisting in their ship repair, we were promised a ride on their vessel. Miss Faust has theorized that perhaps by going out to sea, we may be able to find a way to return to whence we came. Does that mean we can find a way back somewhere out in there in the sea? Nothing is certain yet, Dante. At this moment, we are working based on a hunch. A hunch? Sensing the implicit omen in her choice of words, I slowly turned to look at Faust, who nodded solemnly in response. If we're really in a different world, even her gazelle shaft has to be. No issues were encountered in the repair process. Faust smiles faintly as she looks around, then she pulls me in by my hems. She whispers in a low voice. My connection to gazelle shaft is currently operating at a suboptimal level, Dante. So it's still connected, at least. Indeed it is, however, even exchanges of simple information are taking up to dozens of hours by current calculation. Is this a warp train situation, because we're in a different dimension? The cause should be identical. We've been connected to an unidentified, unpredictable dimension. However, Faust is aware that the pathway to our original dimension is yet to close this time, unlike the situation back aboard the warp train, so there is some exchanging of information. So to get back to where we came from, indeed, traveling through the pathway is the most feasible solution. And from that, you came up with the whole plan to repair the ship and sail out to sea? Yes, well, I am also a genius, after all. A mere conjecture that we probably came through a dimensional door of sorts. Looks like that dimensional door might be what Faust is looking for. With high likelihood, yes. Well, at least there's a way back. I find myself calming down a little. Oh, speaking of which, when do you think you can wrap up the repair job? As fortune should have it, a majority of the most time-consuming parts of the repair have already been completed by the locals. It shouldn't take us more than a day or two to get its core parts ship's shape again, Executive Manager. Especially with my brilliance. We'll be staying here a few more days then. How did you manage last night? Well, like I said earlier, we've been keeping ourselves busy looking for you this whole time. We took turns helping with the repairs and resting, but I doubt any of us got a proper night's rest. Still, we weren't cold thanks to the villagers who kept the fire going for us all night. Not to mention how they helped us a ton with that local map they drew us. Oh, also Chief handed us this earlier. What's it for? Ah, looks like a sack to collect water. Give it here, I know how to get that installed. I was a sailor, you know. It must be to repay Miss Faust and Miss Otis's efforts of repairing their ship, yet the service they provide us is certainly quite generous, even when taking the transactional nature into account. They're really giving us the best treatment they can, huh? As for food, we managed to fill ourselves with some cookies and bread that Rhodia keeps in her pockets. Didn't want to eat into their food supply when they're already pretty tight, you know? She carries enough cookies and bread for 12 people in her pockets. They did offer us some nosh, those dried fish things, but we refused. I ain't about taking food from the needy. No need to concern yourself so much of our hospitality. You have done more than enough to earn your keep. I turned around to look at the source of that low rumbling voice and saw an old man in an outfit that seemed to distinguish itself among the other villagers. There you are, Chief. Is there a place for us to stay the night? We do have places to shelter from the misty humidity at the very least. There is an empty building there, so feel free to occupy it for the night. Oh, you sure? I mean, I don't mind sleeping in the streets myself. Bugs do that all the time. I'm not a bug, shut up. Hey, speak for yourself. I've been looking forward to sleeping with a roof over my head since like yesterday. You'll catch a cold sleeping in the elements in this environment, which is fine by me for the rest of you, but we cannot afford to have the executive manager or our honored guests suffer that fate. Honored guests? I heard what happened from the 4 who left in search of the executive manager. First, I would like to begin by imparting my infinite gratitude to you for finding and rescuing the executive manager. I hear that you are a leader at a pharmaceutical company. This acquaintance shall certainly come in handy in case our stay becomes significantly prolonged. Haha. I'm just surprised by her boldness to say something so materialistic when they're standing right there. Can I stay in your village too, Chief? The village chief took a brief glance at the hems by her right wrist and then nodded. Welcome to Ferro Muerto. You're welcome to stay for as long as you want. And please do let me know if you find yourselves without food. Our food supply might be tight indeed, but we have enough to share with those who help repair the vessel. Oh, you better not go back on your word, Leia. I wonder what kind of local delicacies await. Dried fish like they were eating earlier, maybe? Hey, Chief, what is it? Just how are you surviving out here by the sea? Perhaps the question of how we are surviving might be somewhat misdirected. For we are only pursuing every possible avenue because we must survive. That's ominous. The chief responds to Scotty's perceived hostility with a hearty smile. After leaving some firewood for the night, he left. I'm going. Can't learn much more from here. You're going somewhere at this hour? Scotty, does this have something to do with the coast? I remember what you said before we got to the village, something about how coasts are hardly good places to live in. Dante wants to know if this has something to do with the coast. Do you understand the Aegir language? Probably not. Aegir language? No. Dante, Scotty just spoke in Aegirian. Well then, yes, obviously, who doesn't? I can understand a word of Scotty in the chief's conversation because I don't speak Aegirian. Oh. It may only be that there were enough lexical similarity between one of the city's languages and the language Scotty spoke in them for them to comprehend the meaning. Weird coincidence. Anyway, I have some things to look into, something you're all too slow to see, fucking losers. You still have to tell us about it later. Please remember you're not on a solo mission, Scotty. This is a team effort from Rhodes Island. Will do. Scotty nodded lightly before leaping off into the night, out of our sights. I'm kind of worried. She's not the best of people, but she's also pretty thoughtful. She'll be okay. Should we head inside? The sun's starting to set already. Oh yeah, we can probably just pick an unlit building and stay the night there, right? Trying our best to ignore the mood that was starting to turn awkward, we made our way into a nearby unoccupied building. Lodgings! Man, this place has everything. God damn. So what horrible bullshit are they doing to keep the sea creatures away? Well, that's all for day 1. I'll see you in day 2.
Day 2.
Hello friends, and welcome to day 2 of the Pilgrimage of Compassion. We're gonna get in there, we're gonna go fight some fish, it's gonna be great. So it's been some cool stuff in there so far, you know, it's been some good dialogue and whatnot, but I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of fights we get into. I wanna see some stuff. I wanna get into some scraps. I want a big fight with a cool track. I know that's very basic, but I really want it, is all. I'm sure we'll get there eventually, but before we do that, we must continue the penance, because now I have enough 10 tickets for a 10 extract. I'm not gonna get anything, but penance. Penance. These are my penance pulls. I think tomorrow I'll get another ticket, but it's a decade extraction one, so I'll be able to do it again tomorrow, so that'll be fun. But maybe, because I've been such a good boy with all my penance, it might be inclined to perhaps throw me a bone. Maybe I will accept one of the three. You know, that would be cool. I don't think I'm gonna get one of the three. It's not looking likely. It's looking very, very unlikely. We got 2 Sinclairs in a row, but no ego. Surely that is highly unlikely. Doesn't matter. Okay, well, I did my penance, didn't I? And we return to the salt-soaked shores of Faro Muerte, Village of the Dead, yes indeed. Terra, it's time to learn about the God Emperor. If you don't already know, that's a huge problem and you will be executed. We walked past a few narrow buildings and remnants of narrow buildings before we came across a hall large enough to house all 15 or so of us. It's a big fucking group. Okay, now we're ready. With the curtains on the window removed, the smoke has an exit. Whoa, I thought we were doomed to shudder ourselves to sleep with the soaking wet firewood and all. I had no idea that'd work. We just have to get a small fire going underneath it until the wood dries up and catches fire, the downside being all this smoke. Yeah, we have a wood fire and, yeah, smoke. It's clear that she has some field experience, unlike some fools I know. I shan't sit here and let her carry the burden of labor alone. Bequeath upon me thine ingredients, young Rhodia, for I shall conjure thee a pot of special fixer soup. It's hot water and leaves. You're making soup with cookies and jelly? Ew. No, no, no. You're not getting anywhere near the kitchen again, not after what you cooked up last time. While I must admit to a certain level of interest. As many of our fellows' viscera are oft racked with intense agony upon ingesting dishes of your making, perhaps it would be wiser that we save the occasion for a safer environment. Right, don't you remember? We agreed to leave cooking to Mue or Oti if we're ever in a situation like this, remember? I like Oti, that's very cute. Did we? See, I think it's become some sort of an unspoken rule after everything that happened. And I think me and Ryoshu were disqualified after the Hell's Chicken fiasco. Remember, back during last year's cooking contest at K-Corp, literally talking about it, they were the only 2 people who managed to get remotely positive views. Oh, does that mean we'll get to try Otis's cooking once again? Denied, we still have plenty of high-calorie foods like cookies and jellies here. I find no reason to do something so inefficient. But I will make a beef Wellington that'll knock your socks off. I'm glad to see that everyone's still energetic given the circumstances. It can't be easy to suddenly wake up in an unfamiliar environment. Believe it or not, that's a context we're kinda used to. Yeah, we're all kinda used to getting thrown into unfamiliar places. Speaking of which, did you manage to reach your colleague, Zamir? She shook her head, concerned. Looks like we're gonna have to be Limbus Island for the remainder of the intervallo if you catch my cold. They might have lost their comms devices, or maybe they ran into some other trouble. Could they be in danger? I assume you guys aren't immortal like we are. I don't know, but I'm sure they're okay. The Doctor, Dr. Keltsit, they're both more than capable enough to look after themselves. Long have this curiosity lingered within me, thus allow me to inquire. Everyone quiet, I have a query. Corporations are, by their nature, organizations in pursuit of profit, true. Yet the activities of your corporation resemble those of charity organizations as opposed to a pharmaceutical company. Is there aught that might explicate this blurred distinction? I wanted to know too. How come a pharmaceutical company like Rhodes Island is helping people? Because then they owe us money. Something about what Honglu said brings back unpleasant memories. The horrible experiments seen through the cascade of flowing tears in the face of suffering, the embodiment of greed that left a terrible wound in Honglu's fathoms to begin with. I thought we were talking about K-Corp. But yes, this is very applicable to Honglu's experiences. The pharmaceutical companies I've seen in my journey were corporations that, despite possessing the capacity to heal, chose to obsess over the profit it can provide. Man, it's a good thing that doesn't happen in the real world. There are many in Terra who are suffering from a disease. It's called having too much money, and we seek to relieve them of that. The disease crystallizes you. It spreads deeper and deeper into the infected's internal organs, eventually culminating in their death. It's called erypathy. Ah, I heard erypathy mentioned earlier. Amir showed the back of her right hand, dotted by what appeared to be obsidian crystals. Its appearance reminded me of the bio-treatments from the back streets, but there was something more to it, something more restless and more sinister. It's a terrible, painful disease, but there haven't been any recorded cases of full recovery. But there's an even worse problem. Pray tell, what could possibly be worse than an incurable deadly disease? Well, an incurable deadly disease that creates enemies that you have to defeat in tower defense battles. That's worse. While it varies region by region, discrimination against the infected is widespread across Terra. Of course it is. Those who suffer from it must face unfair treatment. Yi Sang began with a dark expression. Some are quarantined in places with terrible, inhumane conditions, and there have been massacres too. Man, it's a good thing that never happens in real life. Do I even need to keep making this joke? Like, what's the fucking point? It's too obvious to be dignified with comedy by this point. I don't mean to be callous, but is this erypathy highly contagious? Do we have to massacre you? Because Otis will do it. No, there have not been any recorded cases of infection by contact as long as the subjects are alive. But when the infected dies, the crystal growths on their body decay and turn to dust, scattering, which is what spreads the plague. Ah, that creates an awkward situation. A, because the massacres would clearly lead to mass infections, right? So I imagine it's probably spread quite a lot that way. But second of all, it begs the question, how quickly do the crystals turn to dust, right? If someone's just died, could you cremate them and be done with it? Or is it like the moment they die, those crystals start to crumble? Because if so, that presents a much bigger problem. Then, barring environments like active battlefields where casualties are to be expected, staying within close proximity of the infected in daily life seems to pose hardly any risk. So what's the problem then? Well, people are dying, Sinclair. They're already past the point of caring about what the problem is. Once people start feeling iffy, all logic goes out the window. True. Then Rhodes Island's goal has to be... Yes, it is important to develop a cure for erypathy, but I think what really matters is that we change the circumstances for the better for the infected. Well, that's not going to be an easy endeavor, though that is what gives your effort more meaning. Right? Wouldn't mean much if it was easy. I hope you can achieve that goal, Amir, I really do. For truth. The city, this world, we both live in fucking shitholes, don't we? What kind of world did you come from? This city? Sit down. This is gonna take a while. I hope you weren't planning on sleeping tonight. What kind of place is the city, anyway? It's just a big fucking blob just eating stuff. The kind of place with too many pointless rules, although this one was very funny. The kind of place where the moment you think, isn't this too much, you see something even worse. That's damn fucking true. Try as I might, I couldn't think of a single positive thing about the city. Yeah, it fucking blows. The sinners seem to be in agreement, as most of what came after was quite scathing. Kind of place where good deeds rarely ever go unpunished, where sympathy's a good attitude to have if you like getting stabbed in the back. Nothing good ever works out there. It's a shithole. Fucking sucks. And I still don't have a fucking bowblade ID. It's an irrational place full of absurdities. Absurdity is an omnipresence. Therefore, it is not a subject by which one should be aggrieved. We can at least grouse about them, though. I mean, it's the only thing we can do. It would be more correct to experience more and acclimatize oneself to it instead of complaining. Yeah, just get on with it. There is logic to that. I'm not entirely powering off Merso's statement. You did say something like that last time. Just as the mood was starting to turn rather sour, Don Quixote's shout shattered through the awkwardness. Ne verily, nary a day goeth by untarnished by villains and their fell deeds. Yet worry thee not, for where evil riseth, so do fixers of justice too. Don Quixote jumped from her seat and passionately shook her fist. Which was followed by a heavy crack and the sound of small pebbles tumbling down. Don Quixote, watch out! Whoa! Hello, small child. Can we help you? and from behind the wall she accidentally broke down. An unfamiliar visage of a villager appeared and stared back at Don Quixote. It appeared that she was eating out of a can while reading a book. How farest thou? Fairest thy foot? You gotta apologize first. Last seemed too hyper today. Apologies, for I hardly expected the wall to crumble with such ease. Art thou unhurt? Any injuries? Did you just break a fucking wall? Two? Pray tell, to what? Forget the apology, I just want to know what happens next. The fixers of justice rose up to do what? Oh, Don Quixote, you have an audience. Get to work. Oh! Oh, hast thou come to me to hear the tale of fixers? I don't know about coming to us, given how Miss Don Quixote was the one who punched the wall down. That might have been their house. Oh, is it too late an hour? I don't mind waiting till morning if you want to sleep. Nay, not at all. 'Tis quite early an hour for tales. In fact, prithee, seat thyself here. You ungovernable fool! Calm down, we don't even know who she is. And don't you forget to share those fixer tales over there in your corner to not disturb our sleep. Thou makest a request most untenable. These tales deserve to be announced to the world with great gusto from the center. Yeah, that's the best way to hear those kinds of stories, but we should probably introduce ourselves to each other first. Name's Mayors. I'm the mayor. Go figure. How should I put this? Did you meet the village chief earlier during the day? He's my gramps. You know, I was not far off, actually. She might be the mayor someday. I know the village has a chief, not a mayor, but if she becomes the chief and doesn't change the title to mayor, then she's absolutely missing a trick. I'll be very disappointed. Oh, that nice guy. So he had a granddaughter. Yeah, we still don't know what the deal is here. Yet I have not seen you once, Miss Mayors, under the sun. Oh my, you're right. I thought the village was completely dried of any young blood. Like Rhodius said, while we didn't see Mayors out there, there wasn't anyone else in the village we could comfortably call young. You're telling me Gramps was worrying over nothing and told me to stay put inside. Going on and on about the dangers that the outsiders pose and everything. It seems that they do not give full faith to their, I'm using quotation marks on my fingers, saviors. There are things you cannot share even with whom you trust with your life, though I would like to know why. My, so there are a bunch of other kids who are stuck indoors in this village? No, there isn't anyone around my age in the village at all. If that's the case, I guess I can understand why he'd be overprotective. Anyways, it's our turn. We are... I'm good. I heard enough to get an idea. You did? What else did you hear? Oh, pray, how didst thou hear us via a listening device most secret upon our chamber? Mayors tapped the side of the wall, the part of it that was still standing anyway, and smiled ironically. Bad soundproofing. I could hear pretty much everything, Don Quixote, right? Everything Don Quixote practically sang during the day. Verily, I see. I think you could really do with some sense of embarrassment for once. Well, I guess that's good enough for self-introductions, so... Care to regale me with the tale of fixers who bring justice to the evils of the city? Indubitably, this shall do. I shall regale thee with the tale in which the legendary fixer, the arch-magnificent herself, the Red Mist, good choice, hath... I suppose that killed any hope for a good night's kip. But, don't you usually pass out within a minute of your back hitting the hay no matter how noisy things are? What? Do you take me for some kind of hibernating bear or something? Look, even I have trouble sleeping when there's noise all over. I'd say bear in hibernation is a pretty apt descriptor. For all that grumbling and moaning, he dozed off before any of us did. Aside from Heathcliff, who began snoring the moment his head touched the ground, some other sinners were fast asleep as well. Merceau had entered sleep in his usual steadfast adherence to the routine, while Faust laid claim to one of the few available cloth sheets as soon as the close of business for the day was confirmed. The sinners, who had spent the entire last night searching for me in this unfamiliar land, slowly began to fall asleep as well. Meanwhile, the fixer of the Spy Association's first section. Though the knight was no longer young, Don Quixote was still vigorously sharing the tales of adventures without even a single sign of fatigue. She's not determined to do this until sunrise, is she? Ooh! I guess it's okay, since Maya seems to be having fun. As I continued to watch the pair with some mild concern, Amia, not yet asleep, approached me. This city Miss Don Quixote speaks of seems to be teeming with fixers of justice and exhilarating tales of adventures. Well, I mean, it's an exciting place. That's true. I desperately want my fucking fixer management game. Like, you have no idea how much I want that. Battle Brothers, but in the city, basically. But preferably with a more Ruiner and Limbus style combat system, but hey. I can sit here and make unreasonable demands all day, can't I? Did you actually experience all of them yourselves? Fuck no. No, of course not. Don Quixote's stories are usually those of other famous people. Although we've done a lot. Let's not get it twisted. But she's telling it with such vigor that it almost sounds like she was there herself. I believe someone confirmed that she was there for like some of them at the very least. Well, I guess if you really want to get into it, some of them might be retellings of Don Quixote's personal experiences. Ishmael replied uncertainly, thinking back to the plays we were made to watch back in La Mancha Land. Like when they killed the bear. Well, I think all those stories, even though they're only partially true, just go to show what a ridiculous place it can be. We wouldn't need fixers of justice to begin with if we really lived in a just world, right? A really good place to live would be quiet and peaceful without someone having to force it. That's true, and depressing. I hope there'll come a day when Rhodes Island can be a normal pharmaceutical company in the future and only focus on making profit above the health and concerns of anyone else. Something wrong? No, I just thought Ms. Mayers and I made eye contact. Did she overhear our conversation? Is she a spy? I looked to her direction as well, but all I saw was Mayers excitedly reacting to Don Quixote's tales. Well, what happened then? Thou thus spake Lady Otis boldly before the soldiers who stood in our path. I don't even remember what occasion this was. Thou presumest to stand in our path, servants of a master most unworthy. I, Otis, shall educate you on how manner maketh. Don Quixote was now retelling the stories of Limbus Company's adventures in Hongyan. And Otis, who could no longer stand on Don Quixote's unintentional alterations of the story, jumped to her feet and shouted, "Damn it, what kind of nonsense are you feeding her? I never said anything like that." Verily, certain aspects of this retelling may have been exaggerated. That's tales of adventures for you. Things are bound to get a bit dry when a story is told too realistically and as is, right? Yeah, this is why I make shit up when I record. You know, nothing, not even anything resembling a proper record or a book remained once the profound silence swept through this village. You're gonna have to tell me who the profound silence is. That sounds like this world's equivalent of color fixers. So I've always had a craving for these kinds of stories. But Iberia doesn't stop Iberians from emigrating, contrary to their tight immigration control. Have you ever thought about leaving this place? It's still a challenge to cross the border, especially since we're going to have to pass through larger seas that are managed by the Inquisition, and not the cool Dragon Age one. You don't seem particularly fond of this Inquisition. Why is that? That's because this village was formed by people who grew tired of living under the Inquisition's rule and fled. So yeah, probably not too eager to go back to that, huh? Why do I suspect they have some reason to do with why this place is an absolute shithole? Sorry, but what kind of organization is this Inquisition? Well, it's an Inquisition. Sinclair asked, face turning cold upon hearing the word Inquisition and that people fled from it. Yeah, understandable. Yeah, the Nargle and Hammer we saw back at Cowler aren't the kind of memories that are so easily forgotten. According to Dr. Calcit, the Inquisition is what filled the power vacuum once Iberia fell into chaos. That its Inquisitors are the rapier and lamp-wielding protectors of Iberia's cities from lawlessness. I mean, that is very cool. That alone makes them kind of sound like good people, though. Yeah, they are, but there's the Church of the Deep. They're trying to summon Aldrich. Beware the deacons. The Inquisition will go to whatever lengths to deal with incidents related to the church that worships Seaborns. That seems like a massive problem. An organization that worships those monsters? It seems that cultish fanaticism is a plague wherever we go. I feel like people with all kinds of wrong faiths and beliefs are so common. See, the Seaborns are the ones that messed Iberia up, so following their logic, apparently it's okay for them to arrest anyone who seems even remotely connected to them. Are you saying that Iberia is like this because of the Seaborns? Yeah, probably. Those things from earlier? I guess they were kind of troublesome to deal with, but they didn't seem that strong. Yeah, level 41 fucking Ting Tang Hong Lua kicked their teeth in. Anyways, it's just what I heard from Gramps, but the Inquisition executed many innocent people too in their crusade against the Church of the Deep. Oh, alright, they're fighting the Church of the Deep. I thought they were, like, helping them. I misread that before. Okay. But yeah, they're fighting the Church of the Deep and innocent people are getting caught in the crossfire. Okay, I understand now. That would have been a hilarious fucking, like, misunderstanding to have in this world. It would probably get you shot. For those who could proclaim to be on the side of justice, they seem quite fond of committing such villainy. It seems like a reasonable policy decision to me. Of course it does to you. But it must pose a clear danger to the daily lives of civilians. Yeah, I heard I was the only survivor. Everyone in my family died. So there's that. You must have had to endure such a long period of pain. To be able to say something like that with such composure. Yeah, trying not to linger on it, but you're not helping. For Iberia, their heroes will bring the land back to its glory days, but to Gramps, they were just oppressors, making his life difficult. That's why we've all come here, fleeing from the Inquisition's gaze. Yet wherefore hast thou decided to settle at a place that is so, ragged? Run down? Indeed. Yeah, I know, but it's not so bad once you get used to it. Besides, we managed to find a new path thanks to you guys. A new path? Well, it's getting late. Will you be repairing the ship tomorrow too? This place really has no soundproofing at all, huh? Good talk, everyone. Hope we'll get another chance to do this tomorrow too. After seeing Maya's to her own room, the other sinners, who were still up anyway, and I laid ourselves on the hard stone floor with only a thin layer of cloth between it and our backs. Just like that time I helped Sweetman fucking decorate that one house in London. I did not sleep well. A mysterious world that is neither the city nor the outskirts, but it seemed that the lives its people led were just as difficult as they were anywhere else. It's almost as if we can't have much of a story if people are happy. Thank you for the lunacy. Oh, combat. Oh, you shouldn't have. But I'm glad you did. Clear within 15 turns. Think I can handle that. And we can bring the team out as it's supposed to be. Let's do this. Let's do this. We don't need everyone. We'll be fine. Unless we're not. It's distinctly possible. It's so big. What a big boat. It's a cool boat, actually, more to the point. It's not just a big boat, it's a cool boat. Amazing, I didn't know there were remaining vessels of this class in Iberia. What? You know what? I still don't really have, like, a proper vested interest in Arknights, but if that's what their fucking boats look like, then I want a fucking ship combat game based on Arknights. Because that's something I can get behind. That thing looks dope. It just doesn't have any guns on it, which is a fucking shame. I don't know, those could be guns. Maybe. Are those for the gun? No, those are the oars. No, those are for the oars. Yeah. That's a shame. They're there for propulsion? Lame. It wouldn't be too difficult, though. You could just do it like if you wanted something basic and simple, you could do it like they did in Shogun 2. The ship combat in that wasn't like the most in-depth thing of all time, but it was certainly serviceable. Even fun on occasions. Though when you didn't know what you were doing, it was fucking awful. So bad. I espy her name here. 'Tis called by the name Rebellion de las Masas. That's a fucking good name. I don't know what that... Actually, you know what? Gonna Google it, find out what that stands for. Rebellion de las Masas. Translation. The Revolt of the Masses. That's a good fucking name for a boat. Or a spaceship. It's just a good name for a ship. Fucking dig it. Rebellion de las Masas. Revolt of the... Oh, thank you, Yi-Sang. You were gonna tell us seconds later. My boy is always on... He's on point. He's ready. Revolt of the Masses, is it? A name very much mired in peculiarity indeed. Hong Lua chimed in that he was rather fond of it, with its size being about the same as the boat from his home, while Ishmael quickly jumped in to correct us that its size alone wasn't anything special at the Great Lake, and that she would know because she was a sailor, but... It was still pretty big compared to Mephi or the Indigo Elder skiff, which were pretty much the only two mobile boats we're familiar with. I don't know, didn't we get chased by pirates at one point? Pretty sure we did. I thought it was going to be somewhere around Mephi's size at most. Are you sure you can get this ship fixed in a day or two? As I briefed you yesterday, the great majority of the time-consuming repairs had already been completed by the villagers. The extent of our repair efforts only concerns a few components within the vessel that the villagers could not repair, which shouldn't take us much time. Oh, sure, we do this big crossover event, you know, really big deal, and then all we do is just rip off the intervallo before Canto 5, yep. Fighting off sea creatures while building a boat, yeah, okay. Good job, guys, try again next time. Sorry, I'm very much joking. Good job, guys. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Unless parts that are unfamiliar to Faust are also malfunctioning, such as the core engine, remaining repairs should be sufficiently managed by Faust. Faust has appointed Faust as head engineer. Faust agrees, and Faust would like to mention that this was a very good idea. Despite Otis's confident declaration, I could not help but feel oddly unsettled as I looked at the ship. I don't know why, but something tells me that we don't want to linger here for too long. Maybe it's the sea creatures. Still, please be thorough about it, just in case. I'd rather not sit on a sinking ship again. The experience of the Great Lake was enough. Do not worry, Dante. Unlike Mephistopheles, most functions of this vessel, buoyancy gear, propellers, steering gear, are all in operational capacity. This repair should be much easier than the case with Mephistopheles. They seem confident enough. Should be safe this time around, right? No, it won't be. But we'll see. Are we taking that rope to climb up to the ship? No, there's a lift-like apparatus down here. It should take us up to the ship. Its stability was verified yesterday. Let us board the lift. You're 100% certain, right? The boat is afloat right now, Dante. I don't think it'll be sinking anytime soon. Yeah, well, you'll see. We'll see. Everyone will see. Wouldn't that be nice? Oi, you two just gonna faff about down there. We're heading up now. No, we're going with you. You fucking better. As I made my way into the vessel's bridge. Ooh. I can definitely get behind the designs of like ships and stuff which are simultaneously archaic but clearly have either magic tech or just actual tech in them. It's always a fun vibe. Give me my Ark Knights fleet combat game. Do it, you coward. Or fuck it, make it a total war game, I don't give a shit. I was greeted by the extravagant interior that was as gaudy as its exterior. This isn't real gold, is it? Sure is shiny as heck in here. I've got butterflies in my stomach. Aesthetically satisfying, she says. I mean, I agree. It looks very... Don't know if this will necessarily be accurate, but it's what my mind is going to. Final Fantasy XII, which had a lot of airships and shit in it. I don't know if the other Final Fantasies did. I didn't play them. But it kind of reminds me of that. I don't know. I should play that again sometime. I love Final Fantasy XII. I could totally get it on PC. The Zodiac Age. Fucking 35 quid for Final Fantasy XII? Are you nuts? I mean, that is good value, but it's like fucking more than 10 years old. I was not a teenager yet when I first played Final Fantasy XII. It was a PS2 game. I know this is the remastered Zodiac Age, but still, you know what? None of this is on topic. Sorry. I got distracted. But too ostentatious, not quite my style. Yeah, I could appreciate a bit more ruggedness, you know? Something humble. Our young Mephi is also quite the excellent vessel. Yet imagine the adventures we could embark on aboard this vessel, most lavishly decorated. As Faust and Otis were working on one of the control panels, Ishmael walked up to another and interfaced with it before giving a knowing nod. I have no idea what this does. This must have been an investigative or research vessel of sorts, but it does seem a bit extravagant for one of those, though. Maybe it was like a rich person's exploration vessel, when they're like, I'm going to go explore the world, but I'm not actually going to do any of the work. You know, those types? Look, coordinates. Updating in real time, it seems. That's really good. The coordinates seem to have been set to somewhere else in the middle of the ocean. Maybe it points to a small islet? Islet? Nope, no islet there. Or islet. I actually don't know how to pronounce that. Doesn't fucking matter. Hey, Mayors. How's it going? Whoa! Look out! It's a small child! Blimey, lass, you sure know how to sneak up on people. Mayors? What? Did I actually surprise you? I did ask if you guys were going to come fix the boat today. Still, I didn't know you'd be here. Why are the coordinates set to this location? There are several undersea cities beneath those coordinates, collectively known as Aegir. Oh, cool. Gramps is home. I see, understood. What was understood, if I may ask? It is now understood why the promise to repair the ship was sufficient to earn their trust and the title of saviors. What's she on about? Someone get translating. Consolidating and cross-referencing the observed particular circumstances of the village and the statements from the village chief, alongside information garnered from the exchange with mayors, it is possible to gauge the significance the ship's repair has to the local populace. Of course, while this may constitute a sequence of logical connections, it poses a certain challenge for Heathcliff to comprehend. That's fine, I'm fine. To employ any degree of effort to attempt to explain it in more digestible language would constitute a pursuit of inefficiency. Lower the baton, I implore you. I shall explain it in full. I was wondering when Miss Smartass would start gabbing like that again. So what's she on about? Heathcliff's shoulders were relaxed. It didn't seem like he was actually going to swing the bat. He placed it lightly over his shoulder with a sigh. A brief observation of the village seemed to suggest that their subsistence situation was quite dire. Much of their daily sustenance consisted of dried food, most of them made for long-term storage purposes. Considering what Skadi said about how the coastal areas are full of danger, maybe those dried seafood aren't from around here either. Maybe it's food they packed when they first came to Faro Muerto? Some villagers were armed, and yeah, those sea terrors weren't exactly that formidable, but given the state the villagers are in, I doubt they'd have had an easy time repelling those monsters. Well, let's consider the fact that A, they're not combatants, clearly, and B, they're probably malnourished for the reasons we just discussed. So yeah, they would struggle to fight those things off. Not a problem for us. We've come from a world where we ate proper meals every day and are experienced, trained combatants. It's a big difference. I couldn't fight that little sea monster. It would probably kill me. Give me a pipe, though, and I'll give him a fucking scene too. Indeed, and that brings us to the question of sustenance. Right, I get what's going on here. The lass and her granddad about to visit their hometown. They're trying to get some food supplies from there to feed the villagers, and to convince them, they're planning to use the fact they're from the same neck of the woods. Or sea, I guess. Oh, so we're not just repairing their ship, we're repairing their food supply plan too, which is fucking massive. Oh, what's wrong? It's, While the expressions were rather crude, Heathcliff's summary of the situation was clear, to the point, and easily understood. The sinner stared at him with mild surprise. I don't see it that surprising that he could summarize a situation. He's a bit blunt and a bit narrow-minded sometimes, maybe even a bit thick on occasion, but he's not that dumb. And I did too. What's with them annoying looks? Wait, oh, you sods. You don't think I'm that dim-witted, do you? Top-notch intuition. It's just that it's been a while since you've shown this side of yourself. Thinking back, Heathcliff's intuition's always been excellent, and he'd often put together surprisingly accurate conclusions with impressive speed. Which is why his 7 association identity is the one that suits him most. No, I won't hear anything else about it. Shut up. You know, when you really think about it, it's kind of your fault for... I've been too soft on you lately, haven't I? Oi, get back here! Now with those fools out of the conversation, was he correct? Otis looks away from the usual chaos and asks Mayors, sorry. Honestly, I'm surprised. He was on point. Yeah, food's been running low in the village. At this rate, we won't last another year. But the Aegir will. I'm sure they'll welcome us with open arms. Yeah, we'll fucking see, won't we? I don't want to come off like I'm overly worried, but do you think they'll welcome the others too? Unlike mayors or chief, they're not Aegir. I believe they will. Iberia suspects and hates the Aegir for no reason other than we're from the sea, but our home cannot have fallen so low as to abandon a group of starving land dwellers. You'd be surprised. Prithee, oh, prithee you, mate. Might thou explain to us who the Aegir are? I had initially thought it to be a reference to a region, yet it also seems to refer to an affiliation of sorts. Maybe there's something like nest dwellers? Though I don't think I've heard of a nest that accepts backstreets people with open arms. Or maybe there used to be some rich folk? If they call them nest toffs Aegir, then what does that make the rabbit-eared lass? Aegir too? Wait, in the world you came from, do they not distinguish between races? Well, of course they do. We have humans and not humans. This is going to be a conversation. That is not entirely true. Delineation between races is a concept that does exist. Though I only saw them in the Fathoms, there are those terrifying things called the cuckoo spawns. However, as a general rule, it can be said that humans should be the only intelligent life forms in the city. The people of Terra have slightly varying appearances depending on their race, like my Countess is. And I've got pointed ears because I'm an A-gear, though it's not a characteristic every A-gear shares. I don't know how to tell you this, but where we come from is massively racist. The closest idea to what they're discussing appears to be, Don Quixote seemed to be struggling to finish her sentence. Merceau stepped in to continue. Probably not the best choice. By context clues in the manner of word usage, including the means of classification, the closest example in our world would be blood fiends, similar external appearances to humans, different natures, comparable sapiens. I would argue it's the same sapiens, but yeah. 'Tis of my belief that blood fiends ostracize due to their nature that make the coexistence of humans difficult. It may be that the A-gear are also. I'm sure some of them do possess qualities that make coexistence with others difficult, but they're probably rare. Then wherefore are they made subjects of suspicion and hatred? Well, the language is new, but the idea itself is pretty familiar to the sea folks like us, said the man with the bug arm, who is very familiar with this concept. Think of feathers off fallen wings, kids born in the back streets, people who replace their body parts with prosthetics. The form differs, yet in its essence we find the thread. Good way to summarize, I like that. Something about how we keep finding these similarities in the ways of our lives, despite finding ourselves in a distant world with different rules, races, and humans, felt oddly discomforting. Because humans will always be like this. The point is, you guys are doing us a real solid by fixing up the ship. Let's move on from these gloomy conversations, okay? I want to show you the cooler parts of this ship. This way. The ship tour may have to wait. The repairs are almost completed, but an issue has arisen. Issue? Well, that's not reassuring at all. There's a lot of fish. Multiple life forms identified ahead, soon to be a sea terror horde. You know, nothing major. The ship's radar system seems to suggest that the vessel is surrounded. They're the same monsters from yesterday. Fuck. Executive Manager, please order us to prepare for battle. Damn it, are they the sea terrors you encountered? They look a bit different, but yeah, probably. There's a lot of them, but if our last experience tells us anything, we should be able to handle this. Amir, please support us in battle like you did yesterday. Canst thou fight, young mayors? I feel like I'm just gonna get in your way on account of being a child. Then guys, find a place to keep mayors as far from the battle as possible. Then let's hurry down there, we don't want them damaging the ship any further. Fight time. Fight time. Time for fighting. I love fighting. Let's do this. Oh, there's little alligator thingies. Look, 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 look. It's a little alligator thingy. That's fun. And they do sinking. Lots of sinking. Inflict +1 more sinking potency on hit against targets without sinking. That's a solid passive. However, oh my god, there's going to be 20 of them. I still don't suspect that this will be any kind of issue. We have the A-team out now. And we're all higher level than them, so yeah.
내가 시범을 보이지. 제법 지쳤나 보.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
기름도 나오지 않는 놈이구려.
그 정도.
잘했고 저놈을 추적해. 기세가 쑥으로 잘했군 저놈을 추적해. 이 작살엔 필살의 집념이 담겨있지. 보았나? 적은 이렇게 진리가졌다. 우리의 확고한 승리가 눈앞에 있다.
내가 가까워져.
제가 봤군.
깔끔하게 몰았군.
자, 잘했고 저놈을 추적해.
장부. 좋아. 장부에서
No contest. Thank you. More. I demand more. Give me more.
이번엔 성적이 좋았군. 하지만 머나먼 고래에 닿기 위해서는 아직도 부족하다. 다시 가스터빈을 점화한다. 그리고
Yeah. Oh, more fighting. Thank you. You heard my prayers. More combat. Also, we need more experience. If there is a big dangerous fight, I'm gonna need Ting Tang Hong Luo to be ready.
기세가 수그러지는 반격의 기회다.
잘 생각해보라고.
차리게. 장소에 따르면 내 저놈을 해야 하니까. 한 놈도 남지 않을 때까지 지금을 반복한다. 쉴 데는 없다. 잘했고 저놈을 흡족해. 기세가 수그러지는 건
좋아. 가까워진다.
흡족해. 전열을 지켜라. 내게 관심이 쏠렸어. 너희가 공격할 기회는 더 많아진다.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
Mission accomplished.
Little bit spicy, but nothing worth worrying about. The remaining entities have all returned to sea. Is everyone okay? Well, Ishmael got staggered, but other than that, yeah. It was just like our last skirmish. Sea terrors that had surrounded the ship returned to sea even before the battle came to an end. And their retreat felt too orderly and deliberate to just be running away. It's almost like they're making a tactical retreat. We're doing peachy, but what about the ship? Foul, is the ship okay? What about the boat? Minor damages to the hull, but nothing that will impede the ship's operational capabilities. Whew. So I noticed during the battle, I might be wrong of course, but I think I noticed how around the end of the battle those monsters were starting to go after the manager. You're probably right, actually. I noticed too, at some point during our battle, these monsters realized there's a manager who's commanding the rest of us. I sensed the very same. Their movements were fluid and adaptive, as though they were learning our behavior. Why does the Church of the Deep worship monsters like them? Well, that ain't much of a question, is it? They've all gone mental! I'm sure they have many reasons, but Seaborns are beings of infinite potential, so much so that there's no superlative big enough to properly convey the scale. As organisms, they can endlessly evolve and adapt. Every time they encounter a new environment or a new element, they transform themselves into other Seaborns. They're basically the Tyranids of the ocean. How about that? Maybe that's their draw. That fascination may be an attitude most befitting a researcher, yet the transformation of fascination into idolatry is, if I may be frank, not entirely positive. I find them pretty uncomfortable. They just remind me of whales. Then can they learn to adapt a language to communicate with us? What? Going by everything we've heard, I think they sound really smart. Maya's eyes went round at Honglu's suggestion. She brought her hands to her mouth, surprised. It sure was something. I heard that there was a Seaborn who could talk. If non-humans speak the language of humans, regardless of its testaments to their intelligence, I can only think of two possibilities as to why they would. One, to communicate with humans, the other, to deceive humans. More often than not, it's the latter. What about distortions? Some of them already know how to speak, yeah, but they used to be people. Distortions are phenomena in which humans transform into monstrous forms, first observed after the White Nights and Dark Days incident. Just can't get away from that, can we? Therefore, that example is irrelevant to Otis's supposition. White Nights and Dark Days. I mean, we were all drawn in by how fucking cool everything in the city sounded. It's not surprising to learn that a new person who has never heard of the place before would be similarly enthralled. She whispered quietly, but as we were standing rather close to her, we all caught on to the hint of joy in her voice. The pillar of light in the city, did it really? How have you come across this knowledge, Miss Mayers? Yeah, you seem more familiar with this than you should be. Oh, ain't it obvious? We've got the culprit right here, the storyteller lass who's been gabbing on with no end. Yeah, she's been talking non-stop all morning about all kinds of stories, hasn't she? Oh, yet I have not gotten that far. You again? You didn't get so lost in your own stories that you blabbed all about our company secrets, have you? Nay, fie, I would simply not. I wouldn't. As Don Quixote was subject to yet another round of scolding, Amir stared out toward the sea, wary that sea terrors might start crawling to the surface once again before turning to us. I wonder which of the two the Seaborns are. Their sense of self is really, really faint, so I don't think they'd be in either category. I think it's possible that they learned human language out of instinct, that the power of speech might help them survive. It appears that you, Miss Mayers, are quite the expert on the subject of Seaborns. Your knowledge of them goes far beyond what fear for one's survival may yield, thereby suggesting a different means of acquisition. Do you, by chance, worship the Seaborns? Are you a fucking cultist? I don't worship Seaborns. Seaborns don't have any hopes or wishes, just desire for survival. So you feel sorry for them, at least. Miss Mayers, does that mean if Seaborns were somehow able to hope? Maybe so. Is that so? The repairs are complete. As we were conversing, Faust descended from the ship with a neatly organized set of tools borrowed from the village. Repairs completed. I'm guessing repairs are done? Yes, the ship is ready to set sail. Did you have a departure time and date in mind? I would prefer if we could depart as soon as possible. We don't have a set time or anything, but I think we should be able to set sail this late afternoon at the earliest. That soon? As you've seen, we don't have a lot to bring with us. By the way, how far out to the sea do you guys need to go? We need to find this fucking dimensional door of sorts. I could see the dimensional door's light from the beach at night. It was faint, but given how the light's strong enough to break through the sea fog, we should be able to determine its location somewhere around the coastal waters. So we can go back tonight? The first order of business is to relay this news to the villagers. Yeah, back to the village for now. For more fighting! Someone fight me!
어디 보자. 그래, 장부에 이쪽 줄을 지우면 되겠군.
본인도 이번에 한몫했으니 작은 형님께서 흡족해 하시겠어.
Good stuff. No fighting for a while. Still, we're more than a third of the way through. We're getting there. And I'm gonna absolutely fucking attack this today. I want to get a lot done. I don't think I'm in any danger of not getting this done in time, but I would rather stay on the side of caution and make sure I fucking get it done. The Inquisitor. Oh boy, that sounds fine. I bet they don't do anything untoward. There's something going on in the village. Yeah, I hear it too. I'm hearing people shouting and hollering. When we returned to the village, ship repairs completed, we were welcomed by a rather hostile standoff. A quick count told me there were approximately 20 people assembled at the village square. Considering its population, that was pretty much the whole village. Who's that over there? Inquisitor. I think we've been found. Huh. That's definitely not an evil person. The Inquisitor, dressed in a well-kept uniform, was about the same height as Don Quixote. The sword and the lamp hanging from her waist sits in stark contrast with the more run-down, ramshackle village. She almost looked like a fixer from the city. So the Inquisition has discovered our village. Did you really think that you could forever stay out of the Inquisition's gaze, citizen? That's a naive dream. Fabius disappeared from the Inquisition mid-interrogation under charges of suspicion of membership within the Church of the Deep. I suppose that is me, isn't it? Last known location, Salt Flat. The other Inquisitors have informed me that you have been identified next to pirates in its fringes. From a criminal to an outlaw, what a dramatic evolution of your career. But it ends here, now. Oh, she has a revolver. Look at that fucking thing. That's a piece. Every citizen here, including you, will be accompanying me to the Inquisition. They have never broken a single law, nor are they outlaws of any kind. They are not like me. They've disregarded the Inquisition's authority, evaded the gaze of Iberia, and found this sodden coast to lurk in. Why do any of you live here? It's fucking awful. Tell me I'm not supposed to find that suspicious. What are you talking about? You can't just start arresting people left and right with a tenuous suspicion like that. You shouldn't. We only wish to live a quiet life, ma'am. Is that so? Then you might find yourself returning to this village one day as long as you're telling the truth. Yeah, people don't come back from inquisitions. They just don't. Which is not an option for you, Fabius. Mayers, was Chief really a pirate? Well, yeah, but as far as I know, he's been out of the game for a while. And even when he ran with the pirates, all he ever did was share fin beast jerky to villagers. What an interesting pirate. I'm going to sail the 7 seas and share jerky with people. Or carry Aegirians between them. Even if you're telling the truth, Mayers, I doubt the Inquisition will be lenient. Well, what now? I have but one question to ask. That Inquisitor, is she following the proper legal procedures? Ah, lawful. Lawful neutral. Or Otis, is Otis lawful neutral or lawful evil? I'd say it probably leans towards lawful evil. Whereas, like, Ryoshu's chaotic evil. I don't know much about the laws of Iberia, but Dr. Calcit told us that the words of Inquisitors were pretty much the law here. It is likely that she is following the proper legal procedures. The procedures are precisely what the villagers have fled from, after all. Then it is decided. Otis quietly dragged me to the side and whispered outside Mayer's earshot. The sinners who are right next to me seem to have picked it up, though. Executive Manager, we'd best immediately return to the ship, take command of it, and sail out on our own. It is unwise to involve ourselves in this conflict, but we will. What? Are you seriously suggesting that we just let them arrest the villagers? Didn't you hear what the Inquisitor said? It seems quite cut and dry to me. If this is just standard procedure with no local laws broken, then we are in no place to involve ourselves. Our best hope is to take the ship before they impound that too. Well, we can't do that, even if it is standard procedure, even if they're working within the law, it's not. You stayed up to hear Mayor's story too, didn't you? You know, the N-Corp Inquisitors were working within the law too, when they came for the village. That was standard procedure too, yeah. 90% of the atrocities we've heard of throughout history were operating within the bounds of the law. To someone, or to some location. Didn't make them right though, did it? If anyone had stepped in then, I know what you went through, but I'd still rather not take a risk in an unfamiliar environment like this. I will try my best to figure out how to sail that ship. If I cannot, then I have faith in Ishmael to quickly learn its controls. I can't say you're wrong, but I don't know. Neither you nor I know anything about the ocean currents here, Otis. We can get the ship going, but I can't guarantee that we'll reach the dimensional door without any trouble. Now, don't mind us, small child. We're just discussing how best to abandon you and your close friends and loved ones. Do you know anything about the sea currents in this region? Not much, but I know the coastal sea somewhat. And you can't fight the Inquisitors directly here in Iberia. Fleeing with the ship might be the better option. Oh, what do we do, Dante? Yeah, I guess it's kind of awkward for us to just take the ship and go, huh? How about we try to talk to the Inquisitor then? We're an affable bunch. I'm sure she'll come around. I think we should at least try to hear them out first, them being the Inquisitor and the Chief both. If the discussion goes well, we might even be able to get the Inquisition's support. Like Mr. Honolulu said, we should hear them out first, then try to convince them, or they'll brand us heretics and we'll have to take them out. I agreed with them both. First, let's at least see what the Inquisitor has to say. Rabbit's right, she says. Are you certain that translation was accurate, Sinclair? Right? There's no way Ryoshu would choose anything other than violence, right? Idiots. It's because the other options are pointless. Inquisitor's seen us, we're already under suspicion. She will doubtless try to stop us if we flee now. So talk first, lower her guard, then attack. Pretty sure that's not what Amiya meant, yet that's probably where it's going. Well, if she's already onto us, then we shouldn't give her any excuse to attack us by running away. Hello. Do you want to come back to our world so that you and Chroma can exchange fashion tips? Or I would say that, but Chroma's dead, but shh. I was wondering what you were doing there, lurking in the background. Surprised you didn't call us out, frankly. A clock-shaped head. Are you from the Columbian Union? If you want me to be. They're wearing a clock for a head due to reasons, but they have nothing to do with the Columbian Union. What's the Columbian Union? TikTok what? Which language are they speaking? Regardless of whether you're from Colombia or not, you're clearly not from Iberia, let alone this village. You're not wrong, but I think there's been a bit of a misunderstanding. I'm quite certain you don't know enough about these villages to stand between them and an Inquisitor. How long have you been staying here? 2 days? Buddy, don't just tell her that. 2 days? Alright, enough of the chicanery. Get out of my way, outsider. The attempt appears to have been made on quite the unstable ground. It's going great. I don't see the problem at all. Please lend us your ear for a minute, Inquisitor. I am Amir, leader of Rhodes Island. Yes, I am aware of Iberia's closed border situation. Oh, that sounds like it's going to make it worse. Because now you're admitting to a crime. I trust Amir. She seems smart, but I don't know. I felt hope swelling within me as Mia began with confidence. Unlike Sinclair, alas, it was short-lived. Thanks to the Inquisitor's quick retort, I couldn't help but place my palm against my forehead at the exchange that followed. Oh, so not only are we dealing with outsiders of dubious origin, we have a legal entry as well? Yep. Yeah. We had to, because the issue demands urgency, and breaking rules is really cool. I've been briefed. Brazenly crossed the border, didn't you? I don't know how urgent that issue could be, but I doubt it's anything more significant than the situation at hand for Iberia and its Inquisition. The High Inquisitor is handling the Rhodes Island issue. Stay put and await the consequences while he and that chatty med doctor of yours talk it out. Do know that your treatment may depend on her negotiation skills. As for the village chief, I understand that you have the right to arrest him, as he is a fugitive who has fled in the middle of an interrogation and has been sailing with the pirates. However, it is an inhumane treatment to arrest the rest of the villagers as well. Inhumane? This decision is well within the rights bestowed upon the Inquisition. And as we all know, as long as we're within our legal jurisdiction, morality doesn't matter. Who cares? They've lived for years right next to that highly suspicious Aegir. The Inquisition must investigate the rest of them as well to verify whether they have committed any acts of treason against our laws. This isn't going anywhere, is it? Oh my god, that man has a bug arm! Holy shit! Listen, they've been surviving for years upon years by the coast without the protection of the Inquisition, and that simply cannot make sense. Oi, I think I've heard enough from you. Ain't it funny how you're blaming them for what is essentially a failure of your responsibilities? Ooh. And now you roll up in here only to go, they shouldn't be alive, I'm arresting them all. Why are you saying these people should all be dead or something? I am. There's no other way to cut it. People simply shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this. Not for this long. The Inquisitor's reply only seemed to fan Heathcliff's wrath as he lifted his bat and began striding forward. Oh, that's it. Lass, if you ever so much as touch the tip of a single villager's hair... Please calm yourself, Heathcliff. But Honglu stepped in between them. The negotiator. Get your bloody hands off me, I've had enough of her. Continuing to threaten her will cause something irrevocably bad to happen. I believe you know that yourself, Heathcliff. What do you suggest then? We're clearly not making any progress. We're trying to talk this out. I don't know. I do want this boss fight. It would be fucking sick. Excuse me, Miss Inquisitor. What do you mean that people shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this? I mean it's literally. Even by some miracle that they actually do survive, they should at least be suffering from endless hunger, struggling to their wits' end at the inevitability of the calamity. But they look too healthy. The heck? Then shouldn't you be applauding them for managing to survive through so much hardship? No, she's suspicious because it's like, how did they survive? Where did they get the supplies from? I'm an Inquisitor. I'm not some crazy person on a power high who goes around accosting and arresting civilians of Iberia straight to the gallows, okay? I have more than enough probable cause to take them in for interrogation. It's just that I don't have the time or the energy to explain every single one of them to you outsiders. I promise them a fair judgment, whichever way that may be, after a proper investigation. So stop it with this obstruction of justice. The Inquisitor brandished her rapier threateningly, her voice shaking with frustration. Dante, without the full picture of the circumstances, Faust advises against further antagonization of a local political authority. I agree with Faust. I get the feeling that she isn't the kind of heartless Inquisitor that goes around indiscriminately executing innocents like Miss Mayers told us about earlier. I don't think she's anything like the Inquisitors of N-Corp we saw back at Calwa. Well, they were right. We didn't have the full picture of the circumstances. Getting in the way of an Inquisitor, who is clearly a rather significant political entity in the area, was most likely a bad idea. But the boss fight, though! It isn't the Inquisitor's job to answer your questions. Continue to obstruct me, then... As the standoffs are showing no signs of ending. Miss Mayers, I can answer your questions, so for now let's do as the Inquisitor says. Mayors, who had been hiding behind us ever since we returned to the village, suddenly stepped forward. Yet what of thy grandfather and the villagers? It's alright, I'm sure this is happening only because the Inquisitor doesn't know. What do you mean you'll answer the questions? About the profound silence. Profound silence! Mayor's response to Otis was but a single concept. I didn't quite grasp its significance, but it seemed to surprise the Inquisitor. That's what they call the calamity that destroyed Iberia. Oh, okay. Profound silence. A fight, but with whom? Spinning clock. Apparently there's 3 different types of enemies, which makes me think Seaborn. Wouldn't surprise me if they just rushed onto the shore. They do like doing that. You got 'em, lads. I'm not worried. Yeah. Profound silence. You. Decades ago, a great wave ravaged through Iberia. It wasn't long before the Seaborns carried by the waves diminished Iberia's brilliant civilization to this. Oh, so there was a lot here before. The waves. The profound silence then must have reduced the village to its current state as well. Is there any reason it's called the Profound Silence? It doesn't seem to be the most appropriate moniker for a calamity like that. It's because the sea went dead silent before the waves came. The silence then claimed ships out at sea, then the cities of Iberia, then the Iberians. No one could say a word in the face of the ineffable calamity. What are you? No average Iberian citizen should be privy to any of the information you're sharing. And the Church of the Deep is really capitalizing on the pandemonium that followed the profound silence. They pretend to be Aegir from the sea, delude the citizenry of Iberia, and are sowing chaos in her lands. Are you one of them, maybe? So that's why they're arresting the Aegir left and right. I can see the thought process, but, so it's understandable why the Inquisitor would want to arrest us. Good, that makes my job a lot easier. Dante, this isn't good. Sharing that seems to have been some kind of a taboo-like thing for the Inquisition. The Inquisitor wordlessly stared at Mayers. Her eyes were filled with traces of anger and confusion, but she's afraid. There was fear in the face of a threat. Not the fear of the terrified, no, it's the fear of someone who's suddenly confronted with something they must destroy. The High Inquisitor once told me that should I come across an Aegir who knows too much, there is a sliver of a chance they may be of assistance to Iberia. Cease, thou threatening the innocent with thy brandishing of the firearm. You're pointing your piece at a child. But most are seduced by the allure of the sea. Thus they are, with little doubt, our foes. I've got a bad feeling about this. Get out of my way, outsider. Final warning. Run! Quick on the uptake as always, Rhodia slung Mayers over her shoulder and ran past the villagers. While the sinners scattered in all directions to distract the Inquisitor, we were weirdly coordinated on this one. Oh, go on, Don Quixote. The Inquisitor draws her firearm. And in the midst of all that action, Don Quixote rushed toward the Inquisitor without a moment's hesitation. I think she's gonna get fucking bodied, but I appreciate the bravery. Thou shalt go no further. A fixer of justice shan't abide by as thou persecute them. Forsooth, 'tis a battle delayed, not avoided. This clash is inevitable. It does feel that way. In that moment of crisis, seconds before this, it could irrevocably make us a new enemy. Ah. Is that supposed to be like monster? Monitor? Monthreater? Which I think people would get angry at me for pronouncing it that way, but that's what it says. Hello. How's it going? A large obsidian crystallization in the shape of a monster burst forth between the two of them. Ah, who is it this time? I just want to do my fucking job. That's enough meaningless bickering. You'll have to stop now. Oh, this is Dr. Kaltzit. Ah. Interesting. Weren't you talking to the head Inquisitor person? Dr. Kaltzit. It is you. Do you know her? Yeah, she's Dr. Kaltzit, Rhodes Island Medical Departments. Ah, Dr. Kaltzit behind you. You're being shot at. I'm guessing this Inquisitor is quite strong. Shoot first, talk later, is it? The negotiations are over. From this moment onward, Rhodes Island is now operating within legal capacity on Iberian territory under the Inquisition's authorization. So stow the fucking peace, yeah? The Inquisitor fired a blast of that firearm-looking weapon, but the monster summoned by Calcit managed to deflect it. And the cannonball thrown from the weapon punched clean through the wall of the building we stayed the night in, before punching through several other buildings behind it. Oh, so it fired a cannonball. Okay. So Don Quixote would have been obliterated. That was enough to instantly freeze the sinners and the villagers on the spot. That penetrated a building, just like Don Quixote did. Though their walls may be weaker than the head standard for what counts as a building's exterior wall, to punch through so many is... What a precise point it makes. Well, yeah, these guys aren't limited in the power of their firearms like people of the city are, so I wonder if a gun could punch through a building in the city. A fun test that we will likely never get to do. Now's not the time to stand around impressed. It is a violation of a taboo to have that much penetrative power in a firearm. I think that confirms that it would. We're not in the city, don't lose your heads over this. Taboos don't apply here. My head knows that to be true, yet my heart finds it difficult to be still. That is enough of that discussion for now. It is advisable that we carefully observe and grasp the situation at hand instead of deliberating on a taboo the jurisdiction of which does not reach this far. Yeah, so the situation's gone slightly better, right? If she's Amiya's friend, she's our ally. Besides, she's got some super powerful looking prosthetic gear looking thing too. Is that what you think? I apologize for the disappointment, but I'm not on anyone's side. In other words, your particular denomination ally might not be entirely correct. Oh, good. Okay. However, if I must define my allegiance, then let me inform you that the closest label would be that I am Inquisitor Irene's ally. That's not good either. Or is it? I don't know. Dr. Calcit. Amiya, outsiders. As much as you would like to deny it, the Inquisitor's suspicions are true. While it can be said that the process by which she reached that conclusion was unfair, the conclusion itself is, without a doubt, correct. So they're actually connected to the Church of the Deep? That is one way to put it. To be more precise, they aren't connected to the Church of the Deep, they are the Church of the Deep. Perhaps the village itself is a dilapidated church of their congregation. Oh. Our village, a church? Just look at our buildings. Where would we even congregate? Your thoughts, Faust? There are not many resources by which we may analyze the decision. This is Faust's way of saying, fuck knows, no idea. However, the fact that Amiya's colleague has made the same argument as the Inquisitor brings the accused defense into question. Yet I can hardly believe that young Mayers is lying to us. After all, she listened to all of my stories. All of them. Hold on, you've been chatting plenty with that Inquisition or whatever. How do we know you weren't aligned with them the old time? I see you really are all entirely in the dark. An expected outcome, given that all of you may be from a place far beyond the dimensional door. As fortune would have it, there is no need for you to know it anyway. Truth is truth unchanging, without the acceptance from an errant group of outsiders. Man, you're all being really mean to us, and we're a really rowdy bunch, so this will inevitably end in a conflict. Besides, soon... I'm sorry, it seems we've mired you in this trouble. I say no such thing. We shall not abide by as one such injustice perpetrated before our eyes. The village has already been identified by the Inquisition, and if the Inquisition has brought an ally, it seems quite unlikely that words shall resolve this conflict. But we promise you we will take responsibility for what is done. We have benefited far too much from your warmth and kindness not to do so. Are we being played like super hard? The village chief with a benevolent look pulls a dagger from his cloth. And I immediately knew what Calcit was about to say. Take responsibility, you don't have to go that far. Blimey! We are now oh wow, we are being played. We are now departing for the sea, yet as we cannot bring ourselves to leave you here, I must ask you to join us for this journey, become our bloodkin. Whoa, hey, whoa, why'd you stab the child first? Figured they'd go for Heathcliff, he's the most threatening. The unanticipated, or perhaps I was simply in denial of this rising dread, ambush did not end there. And they got Ishmael as well, that's surprising. Damn it, the Inquisitor was right. Oh, God, we're never going to hear the end of this. They got Musso? That seems unlikely. The villagers suddenly began shanking the sinners with weapons they had concealed in their clothes. And it seems they were coming for me as well, which is really bad. Ah! Amir on your left. Amir materialized a black ribbon-like apparition, parrying away the dagger flying in my direction. Oh, they're throwing daggers now, cool. That's how you get lacerations. But another villager rushed in, taking advantage of the opening. Oh dear. Oh bother. Oh my. The charging villager's back made a visceral, crunchy noise. Someone flung them away. Didn't mean to be this late. Shit's fucked, huh? Scotty, let me catch you up to speed. I know the situation. This fishy smell was what I went to investigate earlier. Well, what about the sinners? Unlike Amir and I, who managed to survive the initial ambush, the sinners weren't doing so well. At least we had a silver lining in that the Inquisitor encountered its quick understanding of the situation, and the subsequent retaliation led the villagers away from the sinners. How? I didn't notice any hostility or aggression, and Rhodey is good at reading these things. And so is Heathcliff, actually. What an odd thing to say. Why would we hold any animosity against you? Why would we intend to kill you? We are not trying to hurt you. We are simply trying to give you a form better suited for the sea. Ah, you're trying to turn us into mermaids. You fucker. Until we were obstructed. Ah, he opened his eye. Ah. I apologize for our unfamiliarity has caused you trouble, Inquisitor. I won't make a big stink about what happened. What's truly unforgivable is that the heretics tried to take advantage of the ignorance of outsiders to flee the Inquisition. Damn. Well, they sure had me going. I had no idea. I was expecting an Inquisitor boss fight. I was all geared up for it. I was egging us on. Damn cultists. And even if you are outsiders, any lives lost on Iberian soil are my responsibility. It's my fault. I'm sorry it came to this. Huh? Wait, lives lost? We're still alive, you know. We can shake off a stab wound like... This is most unfortunate, outsider. Oh, what? Are they going to turn into fish? Your friends are either going to die or turn into seaborns. The daggers that stabbed them were laced with the flesh of sea terrors. Once that happens, most die, and the survivors become overwritten by their cells, becoming nothing more than another sea monster. What? That's something that doesn't sound like I can turn the clock on. Not a very big deal. Oh my god, that doesn't matter. I thought we were setting up as like a threat that we wouldn't be able to deal with. Everyone was acting like this was it for the sinners, but hey, I should be able to deal with this by turning the clock. It's not that bad. They're setting it up to actually be that bad. This won't work. My only concern was that I didn't know what would happen if I tried to bring them back after they fully transformed into seaborns. The Golden Bow helped deal with the whale's polidification effects, but I had no idea how it would interact with seaborn transformations. We should just kill them before they turn. I know this must be very hard for you, but what? Sorry to bother you with this, but can you kill my friends? And preferably in the least painful way you know. Oh, sorry, was the last part kind of too much to ask? Even Dante is a bit more hardened compared to people from outside the city. Interesting to see. Oh, wait, don't give up already. If we bring them back to Rhodes Island, we should be able to do something to help them. How should I explain this? Guys, can you... Dante, I know what you mean, but I just can't right now. My strength has rapidly deteriorated since the ambush. It's kind of tingly too, so maybe they use some kind of paralytic cocktail? Just trust me this one time, I can assure you that I'm not just giving up on them. But, Amir, can you understand the outsider's speech? Yes, it's just they're making a pretty difficult request. They want me to kill all their friends before they transform into seaborns. Okay. Done and done. And before we knew it, Skadi had already decapitated the sinners, none of whom resisted. Amir seemed to have been taken back by how fast Skadi jumped into action. What are you doing? Skadi? Don't let this spook you, this is just how we roll. The clock turns. The decapitated heads creep toward the headless torsos, connecting with the threads of blood. The sensation is that of reversal. It feels as though the sinners and I are severed from the rest of the world, rewinding in isolation. Is this rewinding us going back in time, or are we defying the concept itself? This pain is multifold worse than the sensation of a straightforward decapitation. The pain is in the heart. As the currents of death reverses, I sense a deep crushing isolation. Our wounds are disappearing. Resurrection, metempsychosis, or time reversal? Puzzling. I have no knowledge with which to interpret this technology. The cost seems to be that the pain is transferred to the one who rewinds. But that seems to be too small a price for such great power, though the discussion of whether this can be categorized as power should be explored later, and Dante's like, you know what, it's not that small a price, it fucking sucks. I imagine rewinding the sinners after the Chroma fight and having to experience being boiled alive in acid like 13 times, probably fucking blue, although that was actually dealt with ampoules, wasn't it? Because Dante nearly died then as well. Still, that would have sucked. Ah, well, you know. I couldn't stop shaking, all of my limbs were trembling from the icy solitude. Still, I took a moment to collect myself and ordered the sinners. I don't know just what they were thinking, but we should be able to find out once we take them down. You dare deceive the executive manager and try to take their life? Prepare thyself, for thou shalt now pay the price for making a mockery of justice. She has a very looking forward to violence look on her face. This is a very good image in general, actually. Because it shows how scary the sinners are. Yeah, we can't just let this slide, you know. That's... wow, that's not good. That's very bad. I had high hopes that all of you become fine bloodkins. Yeah. No. Yeah, but no. Now, how strong are you fuckers? Let's see. Oh, not very strong. Fabius, you've got, what, 600 HP? Yeah, that ain't much. Sea Terror Assimilation. If this unit has remaining shield after getting hit, inflict 2 sinking against the target. In that case, I think we should leave him alone until we've killed everyone else. Are you guys weak to blunt? We have no idea. Okay, well, I guess we'll find out, won't we? Good start. Even better. They are weak to blunt. How unfortunate for them. Oh. Oh, go on, Merso. Very nice. Very nice. Very well done. Oh, Yi Sang. Oh, that's actually really good. Rolling very well. Not on damage, but yes on clash, and that's all we need. This will suck for you. Good stuff. Yeah, I think that resonance helped us out quite a lot. If this unit has remaining shield, gain 2 attack power up. Oh, I see. So now he has 2 attack power up. That's fucking scary. Okay. Go on, Ishmael. Yeah! Go on, break it. No, only just not broke it. That's unfortunate. But if we kill his mates, then he's got nothing. On his own, we'll be able to take him. Unless that's what the game wants me to do and he'll actually get way more powerful, at which point I will have fucked up. Or alternatively, he might just call in more friends forever. There's only 20 people in this village, though. Good lad, well done. Oh, yeah. Go on, lad. Oh, that's a lot of sinking. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. No. He did block it. They're getting quite fast as well, which is making it difficult for us to counter them. And they're all targeting Sinclair. That ain't great. Yeah, he ain't getting back up from that one for a while. No follow-up attack for you. Not quite dead, but nearly. Take that, stupid. That's what you get. Oh, go on, Heathcliff. Yes. Yes. That's my boy. None of them died, but they're very close. We got some staggers, which allows us to maintain an advantage in the action economy, which is exactly what we want. Payback with interest, yeah, you can deal with that. All right, lads, we got this, no worries. Bit of electric screaming will sort this out. And then Greg can work on the staggered opponents. See what you can do.
어느 쪽일지 잘 생각해보라고.
The SP heal was well timed.
잘했군.
Dead.
한 놈도 남지 않을 때까지 지금을 반복한다. 쉴 새는 없다.
This will kill at least one person.
그대에게 보이는 이 전기 불꽃.
Electric Sheep is so good. Electric Screaming is incredible. Gets so much value out of it, and it's so easy to fuel. Fuck him up. Nearly dead.
선원들, 나를 보호해라.
Dare I say it, they're having quite a bad time, although he's doing a big special attack now. They need to die, and you can just take this moment to get free SP, and you can go for them. Go for it, lads.
가세. 잘했군. 한 놈도 남지 않을 때까지 지금을 반복한다. 쉴 새는 없다.
Tentacles! It's just like my darkest dungeon. Dead. This is gonna suck for you. Don't know if you've noticed. Yep. The sinking does suck, though. That did break his shield, so he won't gain his benefits.
선원들, 나를 보호해라.
Look at that, lad. You're all alone. We'll just... Oh, yeah, you're too slow to offset that. Oh, we got one more skill. Oh, how handy. Yeah. Throw that in there, too. Captain the Pet God.
부숴줄 테다.
No chance. Yeah, he gains the shield anyway. To the point where we might not break through. Now we broke through. And then Sinclair will do some damage. Don't know how much, but he'll do some.
나의 손으로 잘라낼 수 있다면
46, not terrible, not terrible. We're close to landing a stagger, and when he staggers, it's over. We'll absolutely dust him after that point. Yeah, nah, he's fucked.
기세가 수그러지는 군. 반격의 기회다.
Just in time to get hit by this. How unfortunate. 158 damage, and the follow-up.
선원들, 나를 보호해라.
Destroy this old man.
봐주마.
깔끔하게.
There we go.
Mission accomplished.
Nothing we can handle. Wait, I think they're heading to... He's running himself into a dead end. Are they seeking refuge at sea? They're trying to steal the boat. Wait, that's where the ship is. That's where they're headed. They're trying to board the vessel Massus. Wait, but we never told them that the ship was repaired, so how... Ain't it obvious? The whole village is in on it. It ain't a surprise that they'd send someone to spy on us, or they know a way to get to the ship floating even in its broken state. Vessel Massus? Vessel Rebellion de las Massus. That ship is moored at a port in that direction. Wait, it can't be. Irene, who was preoccupied with battling the rest of the followers of the Church of the Deep who were in hiding, quickly gave chase. But Fabius and the villagers were already aboard the repaired ship, slowly departing the harbor with a horde of sea terrors between us and them. How could a vessel of that size become operational this fast? The exterior, the name, it must have been constructed during the golden age of Iberia. Does that matter? Really? But how are we supposed to chase that? What if we built a raft and rowed after them? I love rowing. I never got to do it in Hongyan. I always wanted to build a raft. Hongler, not now! Mate, come on. Sea's full of sea terrors. It won't get very far before it sinks. Do you see something, Amir? You keep looking in that direction. Oh, The vessel mass has soon disappeared into the mist, and the village was left empty with nary a sign of people ever having been there, as though this getaway had all been premeditated. Oh, you're still here, that's good. Leaving only Mayors. Things aren't looking good for Mayors. And despite everything I've said, I'm kind of somewhat interested in Dark Knights now. I do find it kind of interesting now, actually. Maybe. I promise nothing, but funny how things turn out, and that Hongluo's power continues to grow. Yes. He's now on par, and considering he was already keeping up at level 43, there's hope for him. We are technically halfway through. Three-way agreement. Damn it, can't we just take any ship to go after it? It's a research vessel, it can't possibly be very fast. This will be difficult. Even if it is a research vessel, I'm sure it was constructed during the Golden Age of Iberia. No average ship can keep up with it. It's like really special. Which is a problem because I doubt we have any ship that can travel at the same speed. We have only a few small vessels left, which are all anchored too far from this location to be feasible options. Do we have any recourse? No, unless we can identify the exact location of the vessel. Which is the real problem. We can find ourselves a ship to go after them, yes, but most eyes of Iberia, the lighthouses, were lost during the profound silence. Wait, when you say most, you mean that there's some left? Just one, as far as I know, the one in Grand Faro, but that lighthouse cannot be used at this moment. There's another. There's a lighthouse you can use. Cha-ching! Really? You're really gonna give one of the villagers the benefit of the doubt? Yet young Skadi hath already confirmed her to be safe. All I confirmed is whether she's a Seaborn or not. Can't know if she's a cultist. 'Tis true, yet. Once we saw that Mayors was left all on her own, we decided to have her accompany us at all times and keep her within Irene's eyeshot. We couldn't possibly blame her for what happened, given Skadi's confirmation that she doesn't have anything to do with those sea monsters. Besides, they'd all left her behind. But Irene still seemed to harbor a bit of suspicion, and we learned to trust that, given everything that happened. The problem with the Aegir is that she simply knows too much. Where could she possibly have gained access to all that information? See, she can't even answer that question. But let's think about it this way. What if we were to ask her what we don't know? The location of that lighthouse, for example. They're ticking rapidly. What did they say? Dante says we should approach it differently and ask her what we don't know, like the location of the lighthouse. That seems like a reasonable suggestion to me, or does the Inquisitor have an alternate solution to this conundrum? No, but... Fine, let's hear it. I won't interrogate you about how you have access to things that even us Inquisitors don't know. At least not right now. Ferro Muerto, Dead Lighthouse. That's our village name. Oh. That's what that means? Did I look? I looked that up last time. That was yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. So that might have been what it said and I just don't remember. Somewhere a little ways off from the coastline, there's an intact Eye of Iberia on the sea, though it was almost destroyed when the profound silence swept through. Off the coastline? It's not connected to the land? I think it used to be, until it sank. We should be able to procure ourselves enough wooden material from the village to build a raft. Is it near enough for a raft to be a means of access? The weather's not great today, but it should do. It's not very far from the coast. Even you're going to trust the Aegir? I don't see why I shouldn't. I understand the Iberian mistrust of the Aegir is quite profound, yet such sentiment is hollow to the rest of us. Inquisitor Irene, what did you feel when you saw the Rhodes Island operator? You're talking about the Countess, nothing in particular, other than slight annoyance when she accused me of being inhumane. So you didn't harbor any hostility nor disgust. Not that you would have felt any sense of sympathy or empathy either. I thought... I have no history of feelings for or against the Aegir. Such must be the same for the outsiders. What's she on about? She is conveying that in matters in regards to Mayors, our opinions are more objective than Irene's. Finding the vessel Fabius commandeered even, will be of benefit to all. Limbus Company will gain an opportunity to return to the city via the Dimensional Door, while Rhodes Island will have the chance to study it at a closer proximity. And the Inquisition will gain possession of the vessel in which the technology from the Iberian Golden Age is contained. What? You're just gonna hand that over to the Inquisition? Why should we covet that what was once Iberia's? While there certainly are aspects to that vessel that draw interest, I already have a state-of-the-art masterpiece known as Mephistopheles. That doesn't help this situation. I just wanted to brag about it. As long as that can be guaranteed, I see no reason to refuse. Irene eventually agreed to put her trust in Mayers and put the cannonball-shooting revolver down. We are in luck, Executive Manager. It is quite fortunate that our interests aligned exactly with that of the first strangers we encountered in a strange land, and that we weren't eaten by cultists or something. Lucky is right. Imagine if we were back in the city. It would have taken them like 3-4 distortion hunts for us to come to this agreement. Yeah. Well, day's not over yet, is it? Sorry about having to saddle you with this, Mayers. Please lead us to the lighthouse. Okay, happily. So when you said almost destroyed, how almost destroyed is it? I heard that the light faded from the lighthouse a long time ago, but the shape still stands. At least it was when I saw it a few months ago. If the lighthouse is in an inoperable state, we're going to need an expert technician to get it back in working order. Good thing we have a Faust. The technology it's based on is completely divorced from the popular application of Originium technology. No idea what that is, so I doubt there's anyone out there who can work it anymore. Then you needn't worry about that. Here, we have an engineer and a researcher who are geniuses even among those in the city, so we should be able to manage most mechanical failures. Today is just revelation after revelation, huh? I can vouch for Limbus Company's skills. I can also work on the simpler tasks. I've learned a thing or two helping out Gramps, stuff about the lighthouse or various tech stuff. Well then, should we all head to the lighthouse together? No, I'll be leaving the group for a moment. Amir will accompany you instead. I don't like any of you. What? After all that, you're just going off on your own? Yes, to join the Doctor. It is imperative for the successful execution of this mission. We have to take the TARDIS to fight the Urukai or something. Of course, that hinges on Amir and Scotty remaining behind here to assist the rest of you. Thus, I will leave it to the rest of you to take the Eye of Iberia, the lighthouse, back. Wait, what do you mean, take back the lighthouse? Oh, it's probably filled with sea terrors. Is there someone or something out there that's taken over the white lighthouse called the Eye of Iberia? A likely supposition. Amir, what did the manager of Limbus Company say? They're asking if the lighthouse has been taken over by something. Not a bad intuition. Yes, there's a high likelihood that the structure has already been overrun by sea terrors. I don't know about overrun, but I've encountered them a few times when we approached it too closely. Normally, this is hardly enough personnel to attempt a raid on the lighthouse, but answer me this, are there any limitations to their revival? There are no restrictions as long as Dante, the manager, survives. However, do note that battle efficiency depreciates with the prolonged battle due to mounting mental stress on the manager. No need to change the plan then. Amir, use this communicator to alert me as soon as you're able to identify the coordinates of the vessel from the lighthouse. If luck would have it, we should be able to reduce the time it takes to complete the retrieval mission, and then boats for everyone. Okay, as long as you're not taking everyone with you. If it's just her who's leaving, then go ahead. I think we should be fine too. Then let us commence mission vessel masses retrieval. Righto, step one of the plan's a raft, right? Let's get on with it. It's done, let's go. Huh. Well, why are you looking at us like that? Is something bothering you? Must you ask? Just look at how proactive and quick she is to jump to action. Certainly lives up to the image of an employee working for a large corporation. Thanks, Otis, for that charitable view, I guess. Thanks to Scotty, who had already finished the first step of the plan, we were able to move on to step 2 immediately. Fighting sea terrors. I can do that. I can easily do that. I can definitely do that. Operation Lighthouse Retrieval. We fought all these before, no biggie. Wouldn't matter if there were 50 of them, we can fucking handle it. Let's do this. After a while of carefully sailing on Scotty's raft along the coastal cliffs, a gargantuan shrouded lighthouse emerged from the thick mist, looking like something out of Subnautica. Eye of Iberia. Even in its dilapidated, ruined state, touches that are once monumental and sensitive are apparent on the exterior construction of the lighthouse. Lovingly made, you might say. Some even call these lighthouses guardians of Iberia. It retains the grandeur of the era as it was built during its golden age. You really know everything, don't you? It is as she said, but now these lighthouses are nothing but graveyards of countless inquisitors and soldiers of the penal battalion. Of course you have a penal legion! Why wouldn't you? No one who's attempted to retrieve a lighthouse has ever survived the expedition. Oh, good. Can you please not say scary stuff like that, Miss Irene? We are literally about to walk into one. Also, it would have been worth mentioning this before we left. Don't you ever quit chirping? What are you, a foul beast? Stop yapping in my ear. Why is this one such a coward, unlike the rest of you outsiders? I'm not a coward, I'm just voicing my... She did just say some pretty concerning stuff. How long do you think the repairs will take? Its exterior is rather heavily damaged. However, from what is visible from the outside, its interior is still quite intact. With Miss Faust's expertise, it should not take very long. It is as he says. Yi Sang suggested with a smile, but Faust maintained her silence for the entire journey to the lighthouse. Then said something pretty concerning in response. Of course, my wit remains unmarred even in such uncertainties. The currents are pretty wild. Someone's gonna have to stay behind and keep an eye on the raft. We can't just leave it here unattended, but I don't know if we can carry it either. I'll stay here and protect the ship. Are you sure you can handle this alone? I know you're strong, but maybe one or two more people should stay behind just in case. No, don't need them. Sea terrors will swarm the islet if I go with you anyway. So this has nothing to do with you. So what she's trying to say is that she's worried about you not having enough people to take on the lighthouse when she can handle this area alone, which is why she's okay with staying behind alone. That's the more diplomatic way to say it. Thanks for explaining. Some people can't help but just hop through an extra loop, I guess. Alright, let's trust her then, whatever. We'll be back, Scotty. Luckily, we didn't run into any sea terrors on our way to the lighthouse gates. The problem was that the gates were bound shut by strange blue tissues, which is an immediate problem. Reminds me of the L Corp branch back at U Corp, though that one was white. I don't think I can do anything to force open myself, so... Guys, can you pry open this door? Oh, move over. I'll pull from the right side, you grab from the left, and... We'll all pull together at 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Something's off here. What are you doing? The door is firmly secured in place. This flesh tissue regenerates almost as soon as it is torn. Perhaps you'll need to tap into a wilder form of art to get this open. Well, what now? This strange flesh tissue growing on the gates is a sea terror. Reacts to the lamp, but it's grown too much to be affected by it in any meaningful capacity. Scotty might be able to open this door with her incredible strength, but... Should I go fetch her? But I think she's already fighting off the sea terrors from sinking the raft. So we're all on our own. Maybe there's an identity card or ego I could use to get through this. So which one? Just as I was pondering a familiar question, a faint black glow came into view, then devoured my sight, which is absolutely fine and there's no need to worry about it. It's no intuition or inspiration. It's different from those sudden flashes of realization. And it's not the star of that day that I think of from time to time. It's not the horrible door that I see every time I turn the clock, either. The formless and black space in which I am not permitted to see, a faint noise, a whisper cuts through it. And through that opening I see lights. Is this the thing from the title card? I reach out to the opening and I see... Scotty, born from a very, very warm gaze. Scotty? Powerful imagery crashes up onto me like the waves. Scotty, the staggering dancer wielding a blade. Scotty, who flaunts her flowing locks. And Scotty, the singer humming in a low voice. Beyond the fringes of cognition, Scotty's existence has become engraved. The sinner who can wrestle and control this oceanic tidal power is Ishmael. Dante, are you alright? I'm concentrating, go away. I'm good. I don't think we'll need to send for Scotty. Oh, what? Hey, Ishmael, I've never used this ego before, but I need you to trust me and accept it. What? An ego? I nod quietly. Well, it's not like we ever get to have a practice run with those egos. Whatever it is, seems to me our man just found a solution. Her confusion is short-lived. She lets out a carefree laughter before stepping forward, boldly twirling her mace once. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Get corroded? Nice.
한눈 팔지 마세요. 당신에게 파도는 반드시 밀려올 테니.
Nice. Cracks on the lighthouse are growing. May have been a mistake. I think she destroyed the door instead of opening it. Sorry, didn't think it'd be that strong. I know that's the one that's available in the event store. Well, the door's open. What are we waiting for? Come on, come on. No, I mean, just what was the part where you... Well, the part where I suddenly changed into a different outfit and equipped an entirely different personality? Yeah, that. Oh, that is... This is most fascinating that an ego could be drawn here in lieu of the mirror of Mephistopheles. I think I connected to Amir's subconscious mind. There was a strange, unfamiliar light, and I saw Amir's emotions attached to her memories and experiences, so I just kind of nicked them. My subconscious mind? You can't go there. Oh, I did. I just had this feeling that it would work. Sorry about peering in without asking first. But I didn't see anything other than things about Skadi. All I needed were memories and emotions that can be used to understand the being that is Skadi. It's okay, I also have experience with gaining power from others' memories and emotions to overcome difficult situations. It almost turns out that this collaboration was well suited. Maybe that's how you were able to draw something from me as well, Dante. That is the most appropriate assumption, especially in a situation in which delving into its principles is impossible. I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing, but okay. So that's called ego? Verily, of course, Limbus Company's ego is quite distinguished from the other kind of ego which are blown from one within oneself. That is enough. No further information is to be divulged to outsiders. Yet it matters not whether young mayors and young Amir learn of this. I agree with that fool this time. The Inquisitor used an artillery projectile that penetrates the outer wall, several of them in fact, of a building, and the head did not pursue her following that breach of taboo. This is clearly not the city. Ain't it better to let her talk her heart out than to hear her moan and whine about not being able to say anything? Is that a new Heathcliff? I'm not sure. I think I've seen this before. I'm not sure. I am convinced. Do as you will then. Faust's reply sounded almost sulking, but Don Quixote immediately began to expound upon ego to Irene and Mayors anyway. But everyone was too busy to pay attention to her, as the wet, slithering noise from a distance had put everyone on edge. Can we do that later? We've got cleaning up to do. So there were more sea terrors past the door. I think any sea terrors from the sea are all converging around Skadi, which means our only roadblocks are sea terrors still lingering around the lighthouse. Well, let's take the place back. Only takes damage from skills mainly targeting this unit. When it becomes inactive, it removes all effects from himself and heals back to max HP. Okay.
나를 보호해라.
Day 3.
Hello friends and welcome to, what is this, day 3? Might be day 3, I'm not sure. I've been doing a lot. I've been trying to run the channel a lot normally alongside crashing this out, and oh boy, am I tired. And yesterday was my day off, but on my day off I went and shot a music video for Velvet Dead, so I'm actually not rested at all, and I only have a couple days left to do this, and oh boy, we need to get fucking moving. But first, we do this again, because of course we do. Of course we do. Of course we do. That's a little more... No, I mean, that's probably an ID, actually, instead of an ego. But we might get something for it. But yeah, speaking of Velvet Dead, on Halloween, our third album's coming out. And you should totally go have a look after this video. Or pause it and go check if it's Halloween now. I don't know when this video is going out, because I'm waiting on some stuff before it goes out. But the key point is to make sure this is all recorded before the event disappears. Well, if I can record it all before the event disappears, it doesn't matter when I edit it, right? But the album's coming out, you should check it out. Fucking hell. You've been popping up a lot recently, haven't you? Fuck. Well, if we do a couple more stages, we'll have enough lunacy to do a little bit more, do another pull, so that's cool. How close are we to getting a pity pull? I haven't been looking. Close? Surprisingly close. Okay. And we've almost got enough to get the ego straight from the event shop, so that's pretty cool. We're back into the Pilgrimage of Compassion. Oh, yes. More combat. The Fabled Knight. Ooh, oh, wow. Actually, this is going to be a proper fight. Oh, no. Is this where I'm going to get stuck? We've only got 4 stages left. We've been plowing through this. I can do it, lads. Oh, yes, that reminds me. Oh, fuck, wait, yeah, no, actually, there's something else I want to do. I can't do much changing to the team right now, but in regards to the team, because I asked you, I remember in part 92, I was like, I'm willing to take, like, input on what you think would be good for the purple team. And there were various suggestions, but one of the main ones was Multi-Crack Faust. And having had a look at Multi-Crack Faust, I'm inclined to agree. So let's get Multi-Crack Faust. The other most prominent suggestion was Reindeer Hongler, like R-Corp Hongler, which, yeah, I could see it, and I could definitely see the value, but I really like Ting Tang Hongler, so I'll probably keep him.
이 계획에는 다수의 결함이 존재합니다. 파우스트가 이 학점 투성이 계획을 완전 무결하게 만들어드리죠.
I literally wish I had multi-crack arms so I could do my work like this. It would be so helpful. Good stuff, okay. I am a huge simp for 7 Faust, but considering I think she has a place in most of my teams at the moment, it would be good to switch it up a bit. Apparently this ID is fucking insane. Because if we get auxiliary dismantling current, right, and then have Otis on the field instead of Gregor, and then have Gregor come in after Otis, then Faust's passive, support passive, will buff Otis, which I think would then lean into her own fucking passive, combat passive even, to make herself get stronger faster, so she could be a really devastating presence on the field. Let's get her to up tie 3 at the very least. See what you got.
의뢰 목표를 처리했습니다. 이번 원정 의뢰도 철저히 준비한 보람이 있군요.
She does look very fucking cool. Problem is, I don't think I have enough XP vouchers and shit to get her to a competitive level. But I might have her in the back line anyway, and, well, not in the back line. Yes, in the back line, but not knocked back too far. And if we lose the next fight, then I'll just have to swap her back to 7 Faust, won't I? But that passive would be really useful. I think that's worth doing. We got Ting Tang up to level 55, which is really good. Now we need to focus on Faust. Well, we got her to level 26. That's something. If she can knock out a fluid sac before she dies, she's still helping. Do it as a one-sided attack. I should point out that my plan for Gregor not entirely relies on this because he's still effective even if it doesn't happen, but his passive where he grants poise to the next character in line to come in when he dies only works if he's the one to die when Faust comes in, and it just occurred to me that we're not using 7 Faust anymore, which has actually freed me because it means it doesn't matter who comes in when he dies, he'll just give them poise and it'll be helpful. He's just useful for the team as a powerful envy user. So that's fine. Everything's okay. Yeah, we may as well have Otis on the field first because her support passive does us no favors. Because her support passive only really helps if someone actually consumes charge, and it has to be 7+ charge. And I don't even think Electric Screaming consumes that much charge. Someone has that ego that consumes it. Apply charge count, yep. I think Don Quixote's telepole might consume it. Oh, okay, if she has 20+ charge count, she can spend it to deal more damage, right. Okay. Well, that's unlikely, but if it's we don't have to worry about refraction. Everything's good. Yeah, average level 48, we'll be fine.
45-3 충전. 전투 준비 완료.
Purple team! There were more sea terrorists than we expected near the lighthouse, but we did kill like 50 of them yesterday. Thanks to Irene's lamp, the light of which paralyzed their nervous systems, paired with the rather narrow passageways, we were able to handle them without much trouble. Also, as the control room was, unlike the exterior wall, mostly undamaged. Faust shared the good news that the repairs most likely won't take very long. Yi Sang was right, fortunately the inside is barely damaged. How are you progressing, Miss Faust? It is almost complete, we best prepare to leave. Val, radio the doctor, let's... Oh! Oh! A tremor shakes the building with a loud boom and debris begins to fall from the ceiling. The lighthouse's precarious floor suddenly collapses from the shock. Oh! The floor's giving way! We know, Sinclair, we know. What's going on out there? Something rammed against the Eye of Iberia. That's bad. I see ore shattering through the ocean's surface, the sheer explosive force turning water into mist. And it is charging at us once again. As Yi Sang noted, I saw the shadow of a dark figure through the ruptured outer wall of the lighthouse, charging ferociously at the ruined structure. That's not good. The figure looked a lot like one of those knights of the city's western region Don Quixote would talk at length about. That's very specific. The lighthouse might crumble at this rate. Then we have no choice. We gotta go fuck them up. Faust, stay here. The rest of us will descend the lighthouse, and the lighthouse is almost fully functional. It'll only take some finishing touches to have its light shine again, which I can handle, so I'll stay behind. Good, because we're probably going to need Faust. Seems entirely unnecessary to leave the rest to you. I would much rather leave it to Faust, who is an expert. I've read about that Seaborn before. The fables, the legends say that he is the last knight, and if those stories have any grain of truth in them, you're going to need all hands on deck to even have a chance at stalling it. Cool, good. You better prepare for a few days of interrogations as I bring you into the Inquisition. Your decision, Executive Manager. All hands on deck. Leaves the lighthouse to mayors. We have to put a stop to that night somehow. Oh my god, it's literally Artorias. The helmet is slightly different and there's a wing on the shoulder plate, but other than that, that is literally Artorias. We just can't help it. Everyone loves Artorias. Waves crest high and violent behind the spear-wielding knight. Okay, that's different because Artorias uses a sword. We have to protect the already precarious lighthouse against the knights. The knight begins to charge at us, his steed splitting the very sea, and I instinctively know that this isn't going to be easy. I also am aware that this is going to be problematic. I hope this doesn't fucking delay me too much. I've got a time limit. That's not a spear, that's a sword, that's literally Artorias. One day, wheat grains he planted did not sprout. One day, he stopped feeling the scent of life between his breaths. Thus, he rides against the currents, hunting after waves. He seeks the waves, reproaches them, and eventually brings about their destruction. Oh. Faint memories, having blinked through Amia's fathoms, flash briefly before my eyes, and the Seaborn Knight wields his great lance against surface sea terrors. I mean, I guess it kind of is a lance. It looks more like a sword, but I guess the long handle makes it more like a lance. And it is shaped more like a piercing weapon than a sword. He shudders as though with repulsiveness, but he does not stop. You obstruct progress and cover the lands. That is impermissible. This is the land. The knight and the sea terrors don't necessarily seem to be on the same side. Perhaps diplomacy may be a viable option here. I fucking hope so. But let's try and talk to him if we can. Who will overcome the bellowing roar and try and talk to the knight? Otis, you're the negotiator. That worked out quite well. We are not the sea, we are not its waves. The great knight's lance falters with doubt. Waves are the only things that hold any meaning for him. 3 offense level down. It's a start. Good news, he doesn't have that much health. But we don't know how strong he is necessarily. Cold. Lose 1 speed for every cold stack. This unit has 3 stacks after skill end. Take 20 gloom damage and 20 SP damage, then gain 1 frozen this turn and next turn. Oh, what's frozen, might I ask? This all looks very problematic, and there are some scary skills in there, and yeah. When hit, inflicts 1 cold against the attacker. Oh, that's awful. That's super bad. Combat start, gain 8 protection. If this unit has low morale, half the amount of protection gained. If this unit is staggered or panicked, it does not gain protection. When this unit takes damage that brings HP down to 0, nullify that damage, and this unit is healed back to 100% HP and SP and gains a new pattern once per encounter. Oh my god. When attacking targets with Frozen, cannot act for this turn. Certain skill activations become nullified at 1 HP. Deal 175% extra damage. Gain 1 offense level up for every enemy with cold. If there are 6+ enemies with cold, gain 2 clash power up. Gain Misery and Calamity, encounter start. I'm not very good at reading these, but it seems like attacking him is not the way, but we're gonna have to defend ourselves to a point. For instance, a counter isn't gonna save us against his attacks. It's unfortunate that we're using quite a counter-heavy team. I suspect this won't end well for me, but let's see what happens. I'm okay with not winning on the first try. I made him sad, at least. That's good. Lower his fucking SP. He needs to die. We're getting a lot of cold. Nice hits. Pleased. Ooh. At least it's only 1 cold per skill use. If it was 1 cold per hit, we'd be in so much trouble. Nice. Pretty cool. Go on, Yi-san, you can do it. Nope. I don't think he got cold for that. No, he did. He did not get cold for that. Okay, good. Is there any way to prevent cold? Oh, if this unit did not attack, then it expires. Do counters count as an attack? Very strange question. Let's find out. This is the time for experimentation, yeah? Offset that, and then you'll lose your cold. Everyone except Yi-sang has cold, which means Yi-sang can afford to get involved. The problem is, his SP is low, so well, it won't work very well, but maybe you could protect Heathcliff a little bit. Oh, if main target has cold plus gain plus 1 attack weight, shit. Those do need to be dealt with. These need to be endured. That needs to be dealt with. So these 2 need to just be blocked, or... Okay. It feels like a proper managing the fight situation rather than just beating him to death. At least you'll get some of your SP back, but it is still a loss. But it's just to prevent him from doing the attack. This is only the start of the fight. He's going to get more dangerous. And that did fuck all damage, but I wasn't expecting much for what it's worth. 2 cold, maybe 3, hard to tell. That's bad. I hope that didn't lead to more cold. No. That's bad. We're gonna get some staggers soon at this rate. I think that led to a cold. Blocked it. That might change soon, but some of us aren't cold anymore. Yeah, we've got multiple people. Actually, most of the team aren't cold anymore, which means he's not gaining his bonuses. Okay, so this turn, we just kind of need to protect these 2. And when Ishmael guards, she does provide extra SP to nearby allies. Now, in this case, I think it would just be Sinclair, but that would be something. You can absolutely take that hit, and you can take it without taking damage. We've seen that. Those need to be dealt with. And so does the... it's not a great situation. Oh boy, yeah, it's a little bit fucking dicey, isn't it? This is a fight. No fucking fooling. Well, if Sinclair will gain 5 SP from that, and then also 5 SP from Ishmael. Is it on use? Yeah, it is on use. Which means you'd actually get that later. You get it after your attack, not before. Because a higher speed defense will not force that engagement to go first, I don't think. It's based on the attacker, or the attacking skill, not the defending skill. I know what I mean. Which is good, someone has to. Are there any ego skills we have right now that could help her? Holiday could do a lot. For the SP heal. Because SP is kind of our issue right now. Okay, here's what we do. Superbia. That's the best move we've got. That's our best chance for dealing with that. You're gonna have to try. You're gonna have to try. Captain of the Peckod and the Pride Resonance might help, but I'm not expecting a miracle. These attacks will all go first, so they're not even gonna get the SP bonus. Rough, but we have to do the best we can. Nope. Youch, youch. Nasty. Oh, come on, Don Quixote. No. That's going to lead to a counter. 2, actually. Which will, lead to Frozen. That's really bad. Oh, boy. Seems defensive skills are not built for this, which means a different strategy might be in order. It's only, what, turn 3? And we're already struggling. 4 damage. Yep, there's the stagger. The Sinner's relentless assault upon the night begins to slow, yeah. Though we don't have anything in common with the night, cold, cold loneliness rides his bellow, insidious under the faint light. Are we waves or rocks in his eyes? The sea wets our hems, giving us no time to answer the question. Someone has to stand their ground next to the petrified sinners, maybe? Who will stand their ground? Ishmael! Pursue them to the end! There we go. Sinner Ishmael's warmth reignites the fire of determination in the rest of the sinners. In that moment, Irene raises her lamp, showering the night with its light. Iberia's flame illuminates our path. Unlike the night, we're not alone, so we did not have to endure the chilling loneliness by ourselves. What has this done? Remove Frozen. Thank fuck for that.
내 나침반이 틀린 적이 있었나?
Yeah, we fight really weird. Don't worry about it. I wish Ishmael would go there so she could heal 2 people with her fucking skill instead of just 1. But she is doing a good job on that at the moment. Most of us are not cold, so this might be an opportunity to start knocking him back down a bit. Winning that clash, for instance, would help a lot, and I think Heathcliff should... he might lose, though. The SP situation is precarious. I could really do with envy resonance right now. You try for that. You try for that. We got a lot of resonance. Give it a shot.
내가 시범을 보이지.
That's bad. We really needed him to lose that clash. We need to keep his SP down.
그대에게
This will
보이는
help.
이 전기 불꽃은 무슨 색을 띠고 있는가?
His damage, his health even is so high. It's really problematic. Good job. Big hits, big hits. Problem is we have to drop his health bar twice. I think I've already fumbled the start of this too hard. I'm shocked that Otis won that. Very impressed. That helped heal Heathcliff. Okay, well, most of us have cold now. In fact, Otis has 2 because she already had some cold. You've got plenty of charge count, so you could block that. That lets you rest. You need to get in there and sort some shit out. That needs to be dealt with. I believe he's gaining +1. Oh, yeah, he's gaining +1 coin power on that. Okay. Don Quixote is suffering a bit. The rest of you can go another round and kind of need to. Hopeless, struggling. Ooh, don't like that. Electric Screaming to deal with Tide Hunt. Hopeless, struggling. You're gonna have to try, Heathcliff. Can't have you fucking lollygagging. You don't need to, curse me, you don't need to deal with that. We need to win clashes, because this SP has to go down. We can't leave it like it is. I'm not sure the Pride Resonance is giving us... Sorry, Envy Resonance, I keep fucking that up. I'm not sure the Envy Resonance is giving us enough power to deal with him. It's an interesting little scrap, for sure. There's a bit more to it than I would have initially expected. This is a dicey fucking situation.
차 부숴줄 테다.
Oh, come on. No. Oh. Multiple staggers. Heathcliff fucking did it, though. God damn. Look at him go. It's possible that the starting momentum might be critical to this. Letting his SP get too high causes a serious problem. It's also possible I'm being too skittish about the cold. We got 1 free bailout on that front. Yikes. That's what you get. She's almost dead. Ishmael's fine. Yeah, get it together, lads. Jeez, what are you doing? It's just a fucking mystical night. What's even the problem? Fuck. This is gonna put you in the fucking red, but you're gonna have to try for it. Try. I don't know. That's not a good side. I don't like how that looks at all. Sucks, but we might just have to let it rock. Well, she's not staggered, but her SP is tanking. Good job.
저놈을 추적해.
That would have lowered his SP. Yes, which allows for more victories. He's now frozen, though. No plans perfect. Staggers. More. This is at full power. Oh. Haha! No! Well, he did alright to begin with.
敵が優勢です。状況を今一度把握し直さなければ。
Hey, Grigor's here. Heathcliff can survive it, Don Quixote can't. Intercept that. Will it work? Yeah, it should work. I'm having to be a bit more tactical about this, and I don't know if my attempts to be tactical are making the situation better or worse, but we'll see. Good job, Greg. Start lowering his SP. Good hits. Barely felt it. Yeah, you felt that, but you did mitigate it. Some good hits. Honestly, that didn't hurt Heathcliff that much.
Limbus Company の皆さんとご一緒できて本当に嬉しいです。
Oh boy. Now you're doing Tide Hunt. Hopeless. It's a fucking bullshit situation. Heathcliff doesn't need to back off this turn because he doesn't have any cold. So, although having said that, we do need to do damage. I don't know. This is probably as good as it's going to get for now. At least we're getting eat and sleep. There we go. Oh, the damage is negligible. That's why his SP needs to go down.
그대에게 보이는 이 전기 불꽃은 무슨 색을 띠고 있는가?
The damage is nothing. Fuck. I was expecting a stagger, honestly. Otis, that's incredible. You're probably gonna die now, but good shit. She's still alive. Nope. But you will defend yourself a bit. It didn't help you much. Okay, so we've done, ouch, on my shoulder. We've done like 15% of his health, which given his passive is actually more like 7.5% of his health. Thing is, if that clash is a win, he heals so much. All right. That raises our chances. If only a little. If only a teeny tiny bit, it still raises our chances. And if Ishmael can win this clash, the rest of the turn might go a lot better. No, no, that's really bad. He's at max SP now. Yeah, there's like no chance for it. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is gonna be like a side wipe this turn, I reckon. Yeah, even Electric Screaming failed. That might be the beginning of the end. Yeah. Yeah, that killed Otis. The guard skill didn't help. Yeah, Amia, that is great and all, but the problem is that we might just lose because we might just lose. Remember how Moe Crack Faust is only level 33 and how the princess is only level 15? At least you're strong. You're not. And the worst part is we don't even have enough gloom for fluid sac, so we can't even use that. Ryoshu needs to start getting that. You don't actually need to do anything, so don't. I'm not gonna win this. There's no fucking chance. That was very cool. Very nice. Not nice at all. Shocking victory. Still fuck all damage though. He's frozen.
전율을 지켜라. 내게 관심이 쏠렸으니 너희가 선원들 나를 보호해라.
Well, he will lose SP. Fuck it.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
출력 최대치.
That did basically nothing. Oh. Okay, fuck. God, right.
여기구나.
Good, 4 damage. That saved us. Yeah.
囚人が退却できませんでした。あ、ダンテさんには囚人を蘇生できる能力がありましたよね。
And you're at 2 cold, you're at 2, you're at 1. And you have a counter! Oh god! Losing a turn would be bad enough, right? As like as a thing that happens, but the problem as well is that they take damage. They take a shit ton of gloom damage, but maybe I just need to ignore it in the future. I don't know. I'm gonna play this out, but I'll probably stop doing commentary because I've clearly lost, but I'm mainly just playing it out to get more information, right? To try and figure shit out. That's my only real intent now. Even with his lowered SP. I think the game has given me all the cheats it's going to give me in this fight unless I progress it way further, right? Like the lowered offense level and the free get out of jail in regards to the frozen. I think that's all I'm getting. There he goes. You can do it, Ishmael. It's been a pleasure, Fishmael. Serving with you, I mean. She's losing so much SP per turn now. Maybe the corrosion will save us. I fucking doubt it, but who knows? I mean, she will heal from this.
배를 버리고 모두 아래로 내려간다. 반짝이던 깊은 그곳으로.
That didn't do a lot of damage.
배를 버리고 모두 아래로 내려간다. 반짝이던 깊은 그곳으로.
Oh yeah, she's frozen. That's really mean. Goddamn. How am I gonna deal with this? There she goes.
나는 이스마엘이다. 나는 여기서.
Yep. Okay, fucking hell.
이 무능한 놈들! 고작 이런 곳에서 쓰러지다니. 내가 네 놈들에게 패배를 명령했더냐?
I didn't give any of you permission to die, and yet here we are. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to keep 7 Faust for now because I need people who can fight. It's gonna be all hands on deck because, shit. Well, before we change things around too much, let's just give it another try at the very least. A simple change in strategy might be enough to carry us. It's possible. If we can keep his SP low, that might be enough. We're gonna take some damage, it's inevitable, but if we can at least win our clashes, that usually helps. He's a tough cookie. That's the first time I've lost a fight in quite a while, I think. Can't remember the last time. Might have been Don Quixote, actually. Dad Quixote, I should say. That was close.
매뉴얼은 모두 직접
敵の
숙지시켰음.
調子が悪くなっているみたいです。
3 offense level down ain't much, but it could make a difference. So, dealing with that. Ishmael's around the center of the board, which means if she uses that, she'll heal multiple people. That's a good start. I don't think you'll block that entirely, but it does mitigate damage, and that's helpful. I tell you what, we'll use Morositas right at the start. And by doing this, we will help to guarantee our victory later on. If we kneecap his momentum before he can even get going, if Otis is the first person to go, and the first thing that happens this turn is that he loses 10 SP, that will change the results dramatically. And the way I see it, if Don Quixote's move is not, well, how much would that do? Not much. Take that hit. If an attack is not needed, then don't do it. We need to lower his morale and not have everyone freeze to death. This is the impression I'm getting. Good start. It didn't do much, but it was pretty cool. Good, good, good. Lower his SP. Make his attacks suck. Shit. Heathcliff, look at you. Not bad. Barely felt that. Didn't feel that. Barely felt it. Dodged.
敵が来ます。
Good
皆
start.
さん、戦闘の準備を。
Still inclined to have Captain Ishmael block these because her defense skill is actually really useful here. Don Quixote is doing alright. You could deal with Tide Hunt, and if Sinclair could deal with Payback with Interest, although you do have Cold, but Sinclair will just have to back off next turn. But getting to stack this SP debuff on him will help a lot. Also, as it has told us, and I was aware of this last time, lower his morale is, the less protection he gains, which means we'll actually start doing some damage. It really is all about dealing with that. Neutral, but with that lowering it, I'm thinking that will help. That's a big move. That will still hit some people. It'll hit Heathcliff. Which is unfortunate, actually, because it's going to make Heathcliff use his counter, and I don't want him to do that. I wish I could just have them pass their turn. Normally, you would do that by just using a defensive skill in a pointless manner, but having a counter skill equipped means he will retaliate. I mean, he's going to gain aggro no matter what he does, to be fair, so 6 to 18, 10. You may as well do that because it will do more damage, I suppose. Definitely relying on that. It should work out. I don't know. We'll see. Good stuff. He hated it. Good job, Merceau. Very happy with you. You are cold now. We do get a... I mean, if we pass a skill check, we get a free removal of Frozen, so... Although I don't know if that procs when someone freezes, or if it just procs after a certain amount of time. I'm hoping it procs when someone freezes, because if that's the case, then we can make a maneuver if need be, to try and, you know, make something happen. It's okay, they barely felt it. That's unfortunate, though. Otis didn't feel it. Ishmael didn't feel it.
囚人の皆さんの状態を確認する必要がありそうです。管理人。
And seeing as Ishmael is now the fastest character on our side, I say she shouldn't use that anymore and she should go for an attack. We've got 4 people who are cold. 2 of them are 2, and both of them have counter skills, and both are both of them are being targeted by attack weight. On this occasion, we might just need to suck it up and take it. You can do. Actually, pursue them to the end is really risky with this team. Fuck it. If you're gonna freeze anyway, then freeze whilst doing something useful. You're not being targeted. Okay. Don Quixote, could you win that? Possibly. At which point we could then have Merceau just do a counter with no intent of actually hitting anything, and then he can get his cold removed, and then we've got someone else who can continue fighting. It feels like the key here, I could be wrong, it feels like the key is to keep his SP low whilst attempting to mitigate build-ups of cold as much as you can. Inevitably, someone's going to get frozen, but you can mitigate it. It seems as good as it's going to get.
충전 기능 점검. 단숨에 정리.
Good. Keeps him sad. Good job, Otis. Big hits. Tide Hunt. Good job, Don Quixote. Very pleased. You now... She didn't freeze? No, she wasn't the one who was about to freeze. Well, that's not the worst thing in the world. You may as well hit him really fucking hard if you're gonna lose your turn. Yeah, there we go. Big hits, and then frozen. Let's see if we can prevent the fucking freeze. That would be nice. Don Quixote has the best chance. Good stuff, okay.
더 어려운 건 없나? 나를 보호해라.
ご一緒できて本当に嬉しいです。
So we did suffer, you know, the fucking SP and gloom damage, but they didn't lose their turns, which is pretty important. However, Morisitas has now ended, and he's back to, like, normal SP, so really, the timing didn't work out too great there. What are you gonna do? She's got someone on either side, so now's the time to do that. I need you to deal with that if you can. We can't use Morisitas anymore. We can get Superbia, but we need to save that, I think. He's almost staggered, which will give us something, I suppose. The thing is, this is his first phase. I'm pretty sure his second phase is when you get through his health bar once, and we're already struggling.